to be honest.
Hello, Chris. I think I'm almost ready to get started. Actually, might need a few more minutes, so I'm gonna put it on Be Right Back, actually. So I forgot to refill my drink, and I'm feeling a little thirsty. But we'll start in a little bit. about the delay. Jump over to the game. Let it sit there for a second. We're gonna watch the opening video together. I have a feeling this will probably get stripped from YouTube, so might as well as let it play once and then we'll begin the formal playthrough. But for people on Twitch, I guess we could watch it together. So sorry YouTube if this gets cut. It happens. How you doing, Chris? So you got part of an ad? That's unfortunate. There are a couple things I'm curious about this game. As I said before, I'm gonna wait for the movie to loop and then we'll do a formal beginning. I'm curious more specifically, I guess, in general, if they fixed any of the bugs that were in the original. This is the PSP version of the game. I'm leaning towards no, but I guess we'll see. Is it not going to do the video? It was looping earlier. Hopefully I didn't press anything. You're doing okay? That's always good. So what's kind of interesting is that the game title screen says Tales of Eternia, but if you have the PlayStation 1 version of the game, they actually call it Tales of Destiny 2, which is kind of confusing because if you go from Tales of Destiny 1 to that game, they are not related at all. It's one of those marketing things where they were worried people wouldn't buy the game on its own. So they decided to just arbitrarily rename it, which makes it very confusing when you go back and they have like a partially translated Tales of Destiny 2, which is the actual sequel to Tales of Destiny that never came out in the US. But yeah, it's still a little confusing. Is it really not going to do the video? Oh, there we go. I was going to say. Okay, so let's formally begin, I guess, the playthrough of the game. So this will be for probably the YouTube audience will be coming in at this point. So Tales of Destiny 2 / Tales of Eternia, which is its corrected title in the re-release on the PSP, is after the previous game that we played. I guess technically in order, it would be the remake of Fantasia into this game. Now, there are a few bugs associated with the game, so I'm not going to say this will be a bug-free experience, as if it exists, I will probably do it to speed up the game, but we'll see how it goes from there. Let's take a look at the customized as I gather some thoughts. No, I want the text to be nearly instant. That should be fine. So there are two different versions of the game that are available on the PSP. There's one with the English voicing, which is the one we're going to be going with, or the Japanese voicing. I will say probably from an acting standpoint, the Japanese version is better. I don't think there's any contest there. However, the voices here are really cheesy in English. They're so cheesy, and it makes me smile, and that is my motivation to play the game, is to hear those very interesting deliveries of certain lines and phrases within this game. So we're going to be hearing a whole bunch of that. So yeah, it's kind of like the classic 90s cheese. It sounded like the same voices from the PlayStation 1 version. This is the PSP version. But I guess we'll see. Hopefully it'll be the same. I don't imagine they would re-record the voices. At least I hope they don't. I'll know if by the time we get one of the later party members if they did it. I don't particularly remember the starting character voices too much, but it is what it is. So I will be doing this as a mostly blind playthrough. I have never actually beaten this game before. I remember very, very little about it in terms of dungeon or plot. However, I will be using one thing to look up an optional collectible, and that is the only guide I think I'll be using for the rest of the game. And that is because I'm really curious how many there are of a certain really hidden collectible, and I want to show chat what drove me absolutely mad when I played this blind on my own off stream. Like, to an extent. As I said before, I never actually completed the game. So here we go, chat. You get to see very interesting item locations. And I want to show this off to you, because if I don't find some of those interesting item locations, I don't feel like we're getting the true Tales of Eternia experience. So I feel like in this particular playthrough, I will probably be playing as not the protagonist, possibly up to a 100% of the time, to be honest. But I would say expect me to play at least 80% of the time as another character, at least. I think there are some scenarios where I am in 1v1s and I will use the protagonist, but I'm going to be real with you, chat. One of the first things I do whenever I play a Tales game, I don't play the swordsman. I'm just like, okay, how are the other characters? Are they fun? Let's see if this game is able to answer that. Let's go, chat. Let's start a new game.
Yael. Idin opon idir roya.
Wow, rutu, mueti.
Yael puewa kundo. Idin yael dinidoya.
I too, po I wakundo. I mudu, din I duya.
Puruni sun. Waidin furu.
Baururu, poti. Tu sweti.
Umundu de suti imudu.
Tianku yayo. Aiti aisu tiutun tigue. Quiggy.
Ban. Idin umugu di inunti di oburro. Puru isun slifu.
Chat is enjoying the lip flaps, I see. Yeah, some of the animated cutscenes in the game I remember were kind of weird. So, some of the game dialogue is voiced outside of combat, so that's a pretty big step up, I would say, compared to some of the other Tales games. I don't believe what would be considered like common skits in the later games are available in English, unfortunately. So I think the ones where you would be on the field and kind of have separate party events, I don't believe most of those are in the English version. I'm not going to say there aren't any skits, but a lot of them just were never translated. Because I feel like they were kind of in between where they started doing that. I think it isn't until Symphonia that they actually go forward with it. Also, I'd like to say, while we're here and we haven't progressed the plot, I'm kind of liking this song. The song very much reminds me of Star Ocean. I'm kind of curious for the composer of this game if it's the same as Star Ocean 2. Or if they have like, I'm just very interested in that. I'm gonna look it up after the stream and confirm. Parts of the song remind me of motifs that were in the other town music for Star Ocean 2. And this part in particular.
Is that?
Very much so.
Read!
Farah?
Hey, long time no see. How's it going? Did your hunt go well?
I just took what I need for today. Nothing hard about that.
Wow, I have to admit it. You sure are handy with your sword.
Farah, it sure is a surprise to see you here.
Yeah, lately I've been busy in the fields. Reed, do you still come here every day?
Yeah.
You've liked this place ever since we were small.
So, what's up today? Playing hooky?
Of course not. There's something different about the sky, so I came to take a look.
The sky?
Don't the colors look different?
Do they? Can't say I've noticed.
It's definitely weird. I think something's going to happen.
Yeah? Like what?
I don't know. Maybe something's about to come falling from Celestia.
Falling from Celestia, huh?
Don't sound so thrilled. Anything coming from there is bound to be bad news.
How would you know? There hasn't been contact between our worlds for 2,000 years.
Thank you, exposition dialogue.
Anyway, life is meant to be simple. When things stay the way they are, that's true happiness.
Here we go again. Reed's philosophy. You never change.
Oh yeah? Well, maybe I'm just that way because of all the trouble that a certain somebody caused. Farah?
Hey, over there. What's that?
Uh-oh. Farah, run!
Reed!
Seems the plot has struck them.
Phew. Farah, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. But something came down, didn't it? I'm gonna have a look.
Hey, Farah, wait, it's too dangerous. Ah, she's always like this.
Very dramatic music. Let's talk a little bit. Interestingly, we start at level 8. That's a much higher level than in some of the Destiny games. If we take a look at our skills, we have our standard button selects for specials, but we've now expanded how many buttons we're allowed to have. We're going to be seeing if the special attacks have a certain bug related with them in a little bit, but unfortunately we don't have any to experiment with, and we don't have the right characters. We can see there's a cook menu. We have to find 36 recipes. That's a tall order. I'm just gonna let you know, chat, there are titles in this game. They don't do anything. So don't expect me to get all of them. If you want to see the 100% playthrough, this is not your game. I'm just letting you know right now. And we have something called the Sea Cage, which I will not spoil what that is. But we have no idea what that is. And we have a whole bunch of strategy options. And we can even change how they interact with the different skills. So that's kind of interesting. A lot more control than Tales of Destiny 1. Chat saying voice acting is S so far. Oh, chat, the voice acting is not good. I mean, like, Farah's is probably the most passable, to be honest with you. Reed's is, but just wait till you get some of the other characters, chat. You'll understand. So we have, like, 2-hit combos. I could kind of do, like, a neutral X into, like, a forward move or an uppercut. We're very happy we killed the slimes, apparently. I really don't want to get into too many combats. Goodbye, Night Raid. Found spectacles, found wooden shield. Oh, I forgot about the encounter rate in this game. It's kind of intense. Listen. We don't have time for that, chat. Oh, does it? Oh. I keep forgetting. The older Tales games make you go into menu to save. It doesn't just automatically do that. Wow, this is an insane encounter rate. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this is actually ridiculous. I can't even clear a screen. Stop it. I apparently did not go the right way, but we are looking at a sign that says, I swear by Seyfert that I shall inherit his sublime spirit and pass on to thee this great skill, Franco Medius. The hero Regulus, protector of the land. Okay. Well, I found an optional area. You know what? I think it might even be faster just to kill them. Or not. No, it's not faster. It fell deeper into the forest. This is apparently how you exit. I apparently just decided that it was too much hassle. Rocky Hawk. I love the bird sprite. Not gonna lie, loving it, chat. Yeah, just doing some basic uppercut combos. I don't have any skills, so I can't do anything too crazy. I notice I'm getting points. I forget if the grade system is implemented here. Oh, you have like little shortcuts you can take, apparently. Interesting. So you can go off the beaten path. That's what the game is trying to teach me. Speaking of teach me, it's teaching me to run from combat a lot. Please stop attacking. Yeah, this is an extremely aggressive encounter rate. This is kind of oppressive, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, you're gonna give me the tutorial every time I want to heal? Don't do that.
Huh? What are you? You're a peculiar looking thing.
You're killing me. Hello, Beast Bear. Oh, I can land with an attack? Interesting. Okay, so there's a bit more to the combat than it would seem. So I kind of did like an X, up X, and then, or no, maybe it's 2 X's and then a regular X. No. How did I do the 3 hits there? Also, chat, I'd like you to notice how much damage I'm taking. This game is a lot harder than the other ones. So if I don't actively block attacks, I'm gonna take a ton of damage and die. So I'm at risk of dying, weirdly.
Reed, over here.
What is this?
So I remember trying this game originally on hard mode, and while I did get fairly far, I would say, on hard mode, it was not a very enjoyable experience, so I don't think we're gonna do that again. I'll go, no.
Who's that?
Unrurui, ti ai mugu, yayo foidi, anrupu mugutun.
Uh-oh. We don't speak the language, chat.
Tuya muyai tun, usu tun dinduya, o waitun, fundin tu aitun.
Nod your head, chat.
What?
Ti ai uspuru aiwan us, umu fundi ai. Usu, uti muiti.
I can't understand a single word. What do we do?
Ustiundin aimuya imunundin, bai waimu. Supun aikutun rumu wasu.
Anyway, it's dangerous here. Let's get her out of here.
Why?
Because! Ouch! Farah, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. What about her?
What is this? This rainbow light.
Fibrial. Wiki.
Ow! Ow!
Bawai ti usu tia usu. Purun aisun unruputun.
I got it. I got it. Can you let go of me now?
We don't know who she is, but one thing's for sure.
And what would that be?
She likes you.
Don't be stupid. That's silly. She wants help. From both of us.
Tui yayo kumuiba. Tiun boundin ai pui tisuofu. Tiun budin ai tindi. Wadi ai yatu kusu.
Help? Oh, I see. We can't understand her, but we sure can help.
How?
I wonder.
Faraway Village, chat. We have a mystery
And so
guest
that's what happened. We wanted to ask for your advice.
that we don't understand, but we brought her into the Elder's home.
We'll search the site of the explosion immediately. It might still be dangerous.
Right. And, what about her?
She must be cast out. It might seem cruel, but it is my duty to protect this village.
That's no excuse. You're saying we just turn our backs on a girl in trouble?
Farah?
Look at the color of her skin. Strange clothes. Unintelligible speech. She could be the seed of disaster.
I was gonna say, yeah, wow there, Elder.
Huh? What's wrong?
Some classic xenophobia.
What? What's going on?
Ai dunsu.
Uagainon, fui mudo, yayo tundi doya.
Ah!
Stop!
Iuti, ifu toya, baaya.
So this is kind of rude of the game. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. This boss fight is weirdly hard. There is a bug with the boss. I'm hoping the bug occurs. Get this, chat. How much health do you think this boss has, by the way, on normal difficulty? The answer's 1,000. 1,000 health, chat. I'm gonna really hope I can stun loop this character. Please don't get a turn. Okay, good. I'm gonna let you know, chat, that boss on hard mode is so obnoxious.
Ko afu. Tion soi aiso tion modo.
It is so obnoxious, chat. That is like the wall of hard mode. I had to like grind a little bit in the save point prior to this area, and it is just brutal. Absolutely brutal. Like, I think he could kill you in 3 hits. So if Thunderblade hits you, it does like 300 damage. So you get half health. It's such a rude fight. But anyway, I guess this game is breaking the trope of you're safe in town, because our first boss fight is literally in a cutscene town that we don't have a choice of going to. But anyway, he's out of here for now. What was that indeed, Reed?
Are you okay?
Bundi yau pai didi undu? O ai tu, ai rute guati. Ti ai mukusu, fui di, su ai numugu tun.
Also, if you were trying to use spectacles to get the information on all the characters and you didn't have a guide, you would just instantly not be able to identify that character. And immediately not get the 100% monster collection. This game is kind of rude like that.
That man, was he after her?
It didn't look like a father greeting his lost child, that's for sure.
Because think about it, chat. You only get 1 spectacle. It's in an optional area. And then on top of that, you're not allowed to go shop in between. The game is kind of mean. I'm not going to lie, chat. This game does not hold your hand. It likes to just slap you across the face for your hubris.
Yeah.
Ah, Elder. Are you alright?
Elder, nothing happened to you. No one cares about you.
Are you alright?
You two? Again? Are you two bringing disaster upon us? Just like before.
You're wrong!
Elder, this has nothing to do with back then.
Cast the girl out. Banish her.
I understand. We'll do as you order. However, I'm going with her as well.
Do as you wish.
Goodbye.
Hey, hey!
A little ominous there. Something about the past. A little bit of intrigue.
Thanks for waiting. Ta-da!
Uti usu ai rutiti run. Puru ai omu. Puti.
She's wearing my old clothes. What do you think? Now when we leave the village, we won't attract attention.
Doing su uti futi?
Do you really plan to leave the village?
Yeah, I've decided. First, I need to find someone who can understand her.
Any ideas?
Ah, got one. How about Keel?
I love that the name is highlighted in blue. Or, excuse me, it's a blue coloration.
Keel? By Keel, you mean that crybaby good-for-nothing Keel Zabel?
That was when he was small. He's become a student at Minchi University. Aren't the students there well respected? He might be able to understand her.
But it's Keel we're talking about. I wonder...
No problem. It's decided. Our destination is the town of Academia Minch. Well, let's go, my little lost bird.
Umundu tia su pundi sui mu.
We need to leave now. We leave this village. But he stays here. Understand?
Firial, Firial.
Ow, ow, ow! My name isn't Febriel.
What now? Reed, what do we do? It looks like she wants to stay with you.
What do you mean, what do we do?
Well, she needs to leave the village, but she doesn't want to be separated from you. That's all I'm saying.
Just as I thought. I knew this would happen. I had a bad feeling all along.
Here we go again. It isn't that bad being needed by such a cute girl, is it?
Whatever. Don't forget that it's dangerous out there. We'll need to be well prepared.
Right.
I want to check one thing before we go any further. Well, there is one separately for voices. I'm going to turn up the voice volume, chat. I'm sorry. So going forward, they should be a lot louder, and I'll turn down the regular sound effects a little bit. That should be fine. My bad, chat. Going forward, that should be fixed. We say ouch as we touch the... We touch the pot. Where it's like, hey, don't snoop around my stuff. Oh, there we go. Look at that, chat. I like the reflection in the mirror. It's a good touch. So let's take a look at our party members. So we have a level 6 party member. We're level 9 because we went into separate combat. Farrah's level 8. We take a look at our skills. You might notice that we have new moves we can unlock. We see one that says the enemy is slashed, and we have one that the enemy is hit with multiple thrusts. So I think this game does keep track of slash versus thrust. I think this is where the start of this begins. And I'm not gonna lie, chat. I usually play as Farrah, but I'll try to play as other characters. How do I change who I play as? That's what I'm thinking about right now. I think this is how I do that, yeah. So she has Palm Strike. Palm Strike is really nice because it's a starting move. It links into other skills. So I already have like a potentially 6-hit combo. I could do like 2 normals into Palm Strike into Triple Blossom. So she has pretty advanced combos for like just a PS1 game, I would say. So just right off the bat, the combos are already like leaps and bounds beyond Tales of Destiny, with just literally the starting skills. And we haven't even seen what like some of the mid-game skills are or the advanced skills. She'll also end up being our healer a little later into the game. Now, if we take a look at our other party member, we could see that she has access to Grave, Ice Needles, and Lightning. But chat, you know what? Actually, I want to test just one thing, chat. Just one tiny little thing. Did they fix it? I just gotta know. So shortcut skills allow you to use your ally skills while you're comboing, which is very good. However, chat, there is a little bug involving these spells, and I want to see if they got rid of it. How to explain it? If I go into... Ooh, can I do it with just semi? I wasn't thinking about it this way. I might not be able to do it with semi. Yeah, I don't think I could do it with semi. I need manual control. There's a bug that involves you being able to jump, and then you spam the shortcut technique. And if you do that, you'll end up reducing the cast time of your spell to the point that I could just, like, rapid fire them. I'm gonna play as her very briefly, and if I can't do it on semi, or at least I don't feel I could do it, I'll swap back to some of the other characters. It makes combat a lot faster. Also, I got stuck in the doorway. Look at that. Look at that door. Ridiculous. Yeah, if we could pull it off, I want to do it. It's like very simple in execution, but the question is whether or not they removed it from the game. So chat, I have an honest question for you to consider. There are several hidden items in this town. How many of them do you think will be hidden in, like, not a chest? I think should be the question we should ask ourselves every single time we enter one of these towns. So there are collectible items called lens in the game. This is the only spoiler I will give in terms of, like, actual game mechanics. If you want to get a title, you need all 60 of them. However, there are multiple per area, and sometimes they are in chests, sometimes they are not. I'm just gonna let you know, chat, some of these locations are absolutely obnoxious. Absolutely, absolutely obnoxious. Think it at least 4. Not a bad start. Alright, so he's saying we have to go south of the river and we could reach our destination. We investigate a piggy bank. But it's not a piggy bank, chat. It's the Wonder Chef. I am the mysterious Wonder Chef. I'll teach you how to make the on-the-run sandwich. You learn how to make sandwich. A sandwich has 3 ingredients: bread, lettuce, and cheese. Receive sandwich ingredients. Have a nice day. So there is a lot we have to be looking out for in this game. There are items that have no command prompt. There are suspicious objects, which turn out to be Wonder Chefs. And on top of that, there are chests and other bags we can collect that are also semi-hidden. Like, we have to go a little bit out of our way to find them. So there's quite a lot to do per area if you're looking to 100% this game. This is a warning. Okay, so we apparently know Keel, our childhood friend, as the townspeople there are saying, like, you know, the gang's almost all together. Again, we're just kind of rubbing along different things, seeing what we could get out of this. This is where we just came from. Try going north. On the run, are we outlaws now? Maybe, chat. The old man asks just what is going on. It's obviously a robbery. We're looking for items. Al says moo, chat. Excuse me, it's an Orlock. You get along well with Orlocks, don't you? Yeah, I just love their milk. Goodbye, cow. Moo. Oh, we're in Reed's home. Oh, there's actually a climbing animation in the game. This is your picture, Reed? Yeah, that's my father. He looks like you, so young. Who are the other people with you? Is she your mother? No, I think she's just my father's old friend. I see. Not a good sign when our presumably childhood friend does not recognize our own family. Well, chat, there's one of the lens. Absolutely ridiculous, chat. This is a game where if you are not always mashing the search button, aka the confirm button, you will never find anything in this game. But we've gotten one. Go to the Elder's home. Oh, he has an upstairs. Can we sleep in his bed to spite him? If you're gonna sleep, it's best to do it in your own house. Oh, Reed, you're missing the whole point. You have to assert dominance. Like, this is my house now. It's like, if you're going, I will not stop you. Gotta get his deep voice in there, chat. Let's not go into the forest so the village elder finds out there's no telling what he'll do. The chat, just to show you, there's no item prompt. But if you find the right pixel, there's yet another lens there. Shake your head, chat. It is so ridiculous, the items in this game. I remember being very upset at some of these. Because again, like, if you're here, and you're like right here, for example, or like right here, no, you have to do it at like this angle. It's so obnoxious. Also, who calls their village the faraway village? When you get bored of fighting with your own items, you want to exchange your hand axe for another weapon. Which weapon would you like? Oh. Oh, so you can actually choose which weapon to start with. So interestingly, chat, the protagonist is not technically a sword user, although I believe he can use them. Advice on fighting techniques? Sure, we'll take tutorials from the game. Let's see if they have anything interesting to say. Slash and thrust values are played. Experience. Each fight your experience will be allocated the number of times you slash or thrust. Yeah, so we got a little bit of that last time. So I'm not able to hover the exact values for the punch level and kick level, but you can see that they have little bits of experience. She has something called Sea Vitality, but we can't do anything with it yet. We'll have to see what that implies later on. So as I said before, this game is kind of brutal. I will be looking just to upgrade defense, because we'll be taking a ton of damage. Sure, we'll even out our slash and thrust. Fortunately, we can't do anything too crazy with her. We have arms made of tan leather, though. We got leather arms. Uh-oh, chat. Did you figure out there was another Wonder Chef in here? I am the mysterious Wonder Chef. I'll teach you how to make my original omelet. You learned how to make an omelet. See what I mean, chat? Like, look how easy it is to not find things. It's absolutely crazy. Crazy. Omelet has 3 ingredients: rice, eggs, and onions. You received omelet ingredients. Have a nice day. Absolutely ridiculous, chat. Absolutely ridiculous. I just want to take a look at one thing. We go look at our cook menu. We learned sandwich, which is number 2, and omelet, which is number 11. That's kind of ridiculous. So these aren't listed in order. Okay, Chad, this is gonna be obnoxious. Try to keep track of which ones are where. I am not even gonna lie. That is just so ridiculous. So I'm gonna try really hard not to miss any, but there are just so many recipes. I do know... Oh, we do not want the dark pot, by the way. That's like if we mess up the cooking. There are recipes I think you can only gain if you master other ones. But the fact that we got number 2 and number 12 is quite ridiculous. I don't know if there's omelets in the original Japanese, otherwise rice and an omelet. Interesting. It could be. It's finally here, the day we leave. Don't sound so happy about it. Minch is far to the south. We got some distance to cover. No problem, especially with your help, right? Whatever. Let's go. Unintelligible speech. Press square to open travel menu. If you select camp, you can restore your health. Press select for hints about your current situation. So I think the hints are kind of like skits.
You'll find Minch at the lower reaches of Big River Rasheen's. No problem. You'll find Minch at the lower reaches of Big River Rasheen's. No problem.
Okay. So they only seem to have one skit. There's not like full-on skits, but they have some voice lines here or there. So chat, when we're talking about this game is brutal, we might see it in a little bit. So here's another point where I die the first time I come in. We're gonna get into one fight because I just want to see something, and I want to do it near a town. Oh, that's not what I want.
Sonic Blade.
I don't think I could do it yet, unfortunately. I think I'm missing the manual ring. So I think I'm not gonna play as this character for a little bit. We'll see this character soon.
Ha! Triple Blossom! It looks like we won!
Okay, so I can't do what I'm looking to do. That's fine. I think I need manual control for it. I gotta remember all the buttons. There we go. So we'll play as Farrah for a little bit. So I guess I could talk about a little bit of what you could do with each of the characters. So Reed is mostly just a mix of slash and thrust. He has multi-hit normal slashes and he can chain them. Vera can chain multiple skills together, so she's very technique oriented. She could potentially get very long combos. And the unidentified character is good at spells. Now she has an assistant, which I think the name ends up, I call it Quickie. I forget if that's the name of the thing or not. And you can actually attack with it while a spell is being cast. So there's a little bit of advanced tech while playing a spellcaster. So I will say that they are not like the most exciting thing ever, but you know, they have a little extra to the controls. So like right as she's doing the cast animation and the spell is coming out, I can actually direct her little partner to attack. So there is like a little bit of optimization you could do. Yeah, I just felt like I should bring that up because it is actually interesting. Now we switched him over to a spear. I'm curious if the spear is any better. A lot better at thrust. I guess that's fine. We'll have to change his strategy up a little bit. We'll say like, we'll do something like this. So this one will make them a bit more defensive. I think it's fine. We'll try something like that to make them focus on the thrust moves. Oh, they did not upscale that properly at all in the PSP. That looks kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. I promise you the original game looked a lot better. I think they only like slightly upscaled some things, but they forgot to redo that one, so that's kind of awkward. Yeah, that's a big oof. How not to do upscaling.
Let's do it. Triple blossom. Toe, ha, ha. Triple blossom. Ah, ha, toe. Palm strike. Toe. Triple blossom. Ha. Toe, toe. Ha, toe. Triple blossom.
Triple Blossom's so good, chat. Oh, I see he learned a new skill. Now, there is a lot we could potentially do. I'm actually interested in going on the other side of this river.
Let's do it.
Lightning blade.
Ha, ha.
Sonic blade.
Viper.
Lightning blade.
Ha, toe, toe, toe. Palm strike.
Well, I didn't link the skill properly.
Ha,
Lightning
toe.
blade.
Viper.
We got a fairly powerful party. I expect to see this a lot. I think we have unlimited healing, so I'm just gonna do that. Now that we have mostly a full party, I don't mind doing some combat, but early on there's really no point. Also, hold on a second. So let me get this straight. Celestia is above us. Are we in Inferior? Oh, Tails. You really gotta come up with better naming schemas. This is kind of sad, really. Like, gee, chat.
Let's do it. Triple blossom. Toe,
Save point
toe,
spoiling.
palm strike. Toe, toe.
Lightning blade.
Triple blossom. Toe. Viper.
There we go.
We don't lose.
Wow, I got 10 TP back at the end of combat? That's insane. That is so much higher than a regular Tails game.
Hey, you know, we haven't introduced ourselves yet.
It's too bad we can't communicate.
My name is Farah. Understand? Farah. Farah.
Fuaru? Fuaru? Farah.
Yes, Farah. And this is Reed. Reed.
Ruidu?
It's Reed. Reed.
Reed.
Yeah, she said it.
Merity.
Merity?
Iaitiu su diugauti. Aimudu tiausu usu. Quickie.
I guess its name is Quickie. Huh.
Quickie!
Well, that's an easy name.
Hey, this is working fine. Understanding Merity might be a lot easier than I thought. Maybe we won't have to go to Minch.
You literally just got her to say her name. You're such a long road, Farah.
Zuausuntun. Ondun di testi ai mudu tung. Tiun di nusumuiti utung.
Guess we better go see Keel after all.
Good idea.
She is very optimistic, chat. Let's see, does she have any new hints?
You'll find Minch at the lower reaches of Big River.
Nope. Always be camping. Let's see. There's ruins over here. I think that's a dojo, and then something over there. So what's this?
Let's do it.
Sonic Blade!
Ah! To! Ha!
Lightning Blade!
To! Ha!
Huh, tuh. Sonic Blade!
All right!
What leveled up, chat? Speaking of which. Oh, I need the foot, not the foot move. I need the fist move to level up. Play as each of the characters a little bit, as I said before. We learned Lightning Blade? What happened to Swarm? Oh, a little disappointed. We learned Demon Hammer. Still want to learn Swarm. Regulus Knoll, what a name. Looks like we can't go here yet. Check out this location.
Let's do it.
Mahogany.
Tuh, huh, huh, tuh, huh. Lightning Blade! Huh, huh. Lightning Blade!
Okay, simple combos. Simple combos.
That was easy.
Yeah, we're getting a lot more TP comparatively. Like, we're getting almost, I don't know, is it just because we started with more TP? Like, we're getting, like, 10s back sometimes. That time we only got 6. Maybe it's based on the number of enemies we kill, I'm not sure. Hey, Kirk, hope you're doing well. There's the Regulus Dojo. So we could probably assume Farah trained here. There's the Regulus Inn. Uh-oh, chat. Suspicious teapot. I am the mysterious Wonder Chef. I'll teach you how to make a stamina recovering beef stew. Learn how to make beef stew. Beef stew has 3 ingredients: bear meat, cabbage, and carrots. You receive the ingredients. Have a nice day. We found Lid Shield. Oh, I didn't even need to purchase the other one. That's a shame. Oh, it's only 10 to recharge our TP? Okay. This is like the most generous inn of all time. Only 10 in a Tails game? It's not gonna charge me like 30 or 60? Okay. I look exhausted even though I just slept. We sell weapons here. We can already get yet another upgrade. Get the power arms. Maybe. Think about it. Sure, let's listen to your advice. Multi-hit skills can miss and you need to train them so they don't miss. That is a mechanic I don't like. We'll get rid of one of our lid shields for money. And honestly speaking, oh, I got rid of the hand axe already. Probably also sell the longsword. I'll just keep it with the spear. I'll avoid any more purchases. I think we're fine for damage for a little bit. Not enough karma. What does that mean? What does that mean, mysterious well of the dojo? Why did you speak to me? Wait, that's the dojo. You're not thinking of enrolling. No way, training's definitely not for me. So Chad, I have a question for you. How many hidden lens do you think are in this area? This is the game we get to play every time we get here. I don't think I'm allowed to get all of them this time, though. So she seems to be very hesitant to let us go through. So I believe we have to advance the plot a little bit before we're in there. Cat sink in 3. Ooh, there seems to be a roadblock, chat.
Let's do it. Sonic Blade. Lightning Blade.
So I believe if we guard, we only take 1/3 damage. So guarding in this game is fairly strong.
It's over.
It's over though, chat. That is a very rapid river. Excuse me, could you tell us how to get to Minch? You have to take this road to get there, but as you can see, there's been a landslide. There isn't much we could do, Farah. Let's just rest here for today. Unintelligible speech from Verity. Even if the path is a little rough, it's not impossible to travel across, is it? We'll give it a try. But let's go. Hey, Farah, hang on a second. No problem. Might be a little rugged, but we could do it. Uh-oh. Sky's looking a little weird, chat. Hopefully you're doing well, Kirk. There it goes again. Wonder what's happening to the Orbis barrier. Maybe this is a little dangerous. What did I tell you? You're in a hurry. Why don't you try our dojo? The master might know a different way to get to Minch. Really? Yes, the dojo's only a little ways back from here. You visited there earlier, but refused to go there for plot reasons. Regulus Dojo. I know where it is. I used to be a student there. That was a pretty good assumption there. Oh, is that right? Well, take care. Thanks for helping us. Okay, let's go. You little girl like her, a martial artist? I wonder if she's strong. She's really strong. She's an amazing girl. We talk to the person that was just flirting with us? No. Okay, I can't activate the skit button while I'm in a dungeon, but what happens if I leave? Oh, we get cutscened on the way out anyway.
This girl, who exactly is she?
Strange colored hair, clothes I've never seen, and a weird stone on her forehead. Maybe a traveling performer?
Sure. She's a traveling performer. Good one, Reed.
Meredy, where did you come from? Why did you come here?
Of tau mugusu, tui mui ti wa ai mugun, ti sum ti pai di rudu, pau rubun dun, suti di yandu.
I mean, Chan, I hope you got all that. That's all plot relevant information. Hello, Reen. Hope you're doing well.
Well, if we can't understand her, we'll never get anywhere.
Read? Febrial!
Ow, ow, ow! What's this light? What's a febriel?
I don't know, but it's obvious she wants your help.
Is she afraid that the one who attacked us will return?
Maybe.
Well, no point in worrying. We'll let Keel figure it out.
I guess so. It's been so long since we saw Keel. I bet he's become a great scholar.
I wonder.
You're just passing time. I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired. Playing the PSP version of Eternia, which has some interesting upscaling
Let's go
issues.
to Regulus Dojo. I haven't been there in ages.
She hasn't been in there in ages, apparently. Okay, so you can mess with the mini-map to some extent. I do love that you could just instantly camp and recover health. That's kind of overpowered, I'm not gonna lie. That does help with how ridiculous some of the encounters are in this game, though. But once you're in a dungeon, you are so done. Oh yeah, chat, so you're thinking there could be 3 hidden items here. Let's go see if we can find any more. So far we found 0, but we also haven't actually entered the dojo. This place hasn't changed at all. Weren't you a student here not long ago? Of course it hasn't changed. Oh, Reed. What do we do with you? So this is the Great Dojo. Let's go in. Wiki says hello, chat. Merity says something we don't understand. What's wrong? Maybe it's hungry. Wait after we see my teacher, okay? Excuse me, anybody? Whoa, Reed! Surrender. Well, this is rude.
Lightning Blade! Sonic Blade!
Sonic Blade, chat.
Sonic Blade!
Apparently, the Buff-Man squad is here.
Lightning Blade!
Oh, I actually got like a kind of cool looking combo there.
Lightning Blade!
Look at that. Get out of here. Get wrecked.
Ooh, that was close.
What's my opinion of Farah? It's very early in the game. I mean, she's very optimistic, but there seems to be some kind of tragic backstory with her. And I'm assuming the game will eventually get back to that. Franco says, "Oh, enough. That was impressive." They just returned to the ceiling. Of course they do. Is he holding the Shanai upside down? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the protagonist using a spear? He's using a short spear. Franco says, "You have great skills for one so young. Decision has been made. Welcome to our dojo." Just wait a second. I didn't want to join any dojo. Then why did you fight? Well, because you ambushed us with the Buff Man squad, as the chat said. I was just defending myself. It's been so long, Master Franco. Ah, Farah. What brings you here? Do you wish to train with us again? Well, no, actually. We wish to go to Minch as soon as possible. Oh, I don't know who you're talking about, Reen. If you're talking about Franco, I was not paying attention to what he was wielding. But the path has been blocked by rock slides, so... I can tell you right now, we are not using a bamboo sword. That's why I'm confused. So that is your reason? Yes, one of many. Very well, let us talk in my room. And you, young man, what is your name? Me? Reed Herschel. Ahem, Reed. Perhaps you wish to join my dojo. Well, actually, no need to hurry. Join us after your business is settled. Well, I'm not really interested. He's not using a sword, Reed. I don't know what to tell you. He's using a short spear. Right. So if you're wondering why he's holding it upside down, see, it's a short spear. Standard spear made of iron. So he's just holding the polearm part. Okay, let's investigate. Found an apple gel, one item down. Found another apple gel. Found a leather helm. Lots of hidden items here. Can I use any of those? Or I already bought one. Dang, I already bought one. What is this? Okay, I can't interact with it. So I don't think there's anything here. So let's just keep looking around. Orange gel, of course. Someone inside. I beg of you, don't tell the master I'm here. I can't stand it. I can't take any more of that training. Someone is indeed in there. Nothing to find here. Nothing on the floor. Yeah, this game has a crazy amount of hidden items. Look at this. Oh, we found a lens. That's one down, chat. Actually, can you believe this? I missed the lens even though I just rubbed my face across this. Where is this supposed item? Oh my gosh. Alright, chat. See, this is what tilts me. Chat, did you not just see me walk around this room and I didn't get it? This game with the lens detection is absolutely atrocious. This is like some of the worst hidden item stuff I have ever seen in any game. I mean, you saw how I walked around the room and I still didn't get it. So that's why I was like, when I was going for this originally, I was like, how many did I miss? And I'm like, how is it even possible to have missed that many? And now I understand. It's absolutely terrible hitboxes for items. Teach you about advanced fighting techniques? Sure, let's talk about commands. Oh, commands are actually interesting. But how do I issue them? Oh, he didn't actually teach us how to issue them. So this game fixes, I think, a lot of the issues that some of the other Tales games have, where you could tell your party as a group, for example, to collectively jump, block, or siege, I believe are the 3 basic commands. So you could force them to basically ignore or deal with spells, for example, and that'll interrupt whatever they're doing normally. So you could force, for example, a mass block if an enemy's like throwing rocks or something. Alright, is this teaching us how to disable skills? That's fine, we know about that. At the moment, I don't really have a use for splitting the formations, but I like that you could have up to 3 different formations. That is an improvement over the other game. Slide the analog stick left or right to reverse the party's formation. Okay, good to know. Hold it down, and the party will form a group. Interesting. So I could force them to stay still. That's a lot more control than I had before. Oh. Oh, is it because I'm not using the analog stick? Oh, I can jump. Oh, we have to test something soon. Manual mode? Manual mode? Yeah, manual mode, chat. That's what I'm talking about. I love me some manual. This manually positions to attack enemies, but you have full control of your movements. If you're uncomfortable, you can always press select. Oh, chat. Want to learn controls for manual? Sure. Wow, I don't even need items anymore. Huge upgrade compared to the other games. Okay, so I was hitting the directional to jump, and it's true, you can only do that in manual. However, it looks like you could force everybody to jump regardless by using the analog stick. I didn't realize there was a difference between the D-pad and the analog. I've just assumed this game was D-pad only. So that was an assumption on my part. Press X in midair to perform a jump attack. Right. I mean, I'm not relying on automatic defend anyway. So now I want to see something later to see if we could absolutely break the game. But we'll see how it goes. We did a little bit of training there, chat. Nothing of interest here. Is he stabbing it? Sure, we'll learn about movement. Know about double tapping, that's fine. Yeah, I do not want I do not want the semi-auto attack. Yeah, we know about the ups and downs. That's fine. Yep, we know about skill assigning. Targeting is R1, right? Yeah. There we go. Or excuse me, this is the PSP version, so it technically doesn't have, like, the back buttons. Spar with you? Sure.
Let's do it. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Sonic Blade. Tuck, tuck, tuck.
Oh, I don't like that slide after the normal jump. That feels really awkward.
Triple blossom.
Like, we go weirdly high in the sky. Like, look at that jump, chat. Look at it. We just ascended to heaven with this jump. Holy. Well, I don't think I can infinite people like this.
We took care of them.
Wait, that still gives experience? Always aim for higher. Okay, I want to check one thing since we're here. Now that I have manual jump, is this abusable? I need something. I think Ice Needles is easiest to see if it works. I think this will work. We'll do this combat real quick.
Lightning Blade. Lightning Blade.
I don't think it worked. Did they remove it from the PSP version? I think they did.
Lightning Blade.
Oh, I think they took out the bug. I'm not able to get it. So, what was really silly is that if you did like shortcut moves in the sky in the original version, it would start your cast time in the air while you're landing, but then it would queue up all of them. So you would just kind of like machine gun blow out all of these ones. I'm just gonna make sure just to see. I'm gonna try different ones there, but I think they got rid of the bug. That's such a shame. I have to play legit.
Lightning Blade. Lightning Blade.
Yeah, it's not letting me do it.
Lightning Blade. Sonic Blade. Lightning Blade. Lightning Blade.
Yeah, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting the chain.
Lightning Blade.
I killed him with Quickie though. Shame is real. Oh well, I guess we're gonna have to play this game legit. Maybe I'll boot up the PS1 version. I'm curious if they got rid of all the bugs in the game or not. I think there's one where I could basically gain infinite height, but I forget how to do that one offhand. I would have to double check. Anyway, I'm not interested in playing her. I mean, like, technically I can optimize my damage by attacking with Quickie while I'm playing as her. But I like Reed or Farah a bit more, so I'll go back to Farah. Well, haven't you heard the song, like, Army of Me, chat? It's just him replicating. It's a shadow clone. You got wristband? That's random. It's a shield for her. I'll have to use for wiping off sweat. But do you see what I mean, chat? Like, look at this. Look at this hidden area. Isn't that ridiculous? I'm not using a guide for this, by the way. I just found this door, just for clarity. I only have a guide open for the lens. But, like, it is so easy to not find hidden things in this game. It's actually ridiculous. There are just so many things where, like, that does not look like an exit at all. It looks like every one of the other columns. You can maybe faintly see that there's, like, an off-color tile there, but wow. Like, if you're over here, you won't even see it. Or you might not even think anything of it. Quite ridiculous, chat. She is, I know you not, but your eyes do not lie. Follow your heart's path, that is the best. Yes. Well then, I shall teach you a useful skill. Thank you very much. Wow, he could just teach us how to heal? That's kind of OP. And read. Your swordplay is quite impressive. Where did you learn it? we're not using a sword. Well, I just go out and hunt every day for food, that's all. Excuse me. Ah, Paolo. I'd like you to use your Craneball arts to help them get to Minch. After all, you're the only one in this dojo that knows the water Kramal arts. Gladly. Then I'll leave the rest to you. Now if you'll excuse me, it's time for training. If you want to learn more about fighting or wish to learn higher level skills, go next door. Thank you for everything. Higher level skills, what does he mean by that? And Reed, are you sure you don't want to join my dojo? Forget I mentioned it. ... So what do we do now? Well... Will you come with me to the Kramal Arts training room? I need to make preparations. Away he goes. If Fairy uses a short spear as a sword. Maybe. A little bit. Learning Regulus Fighting Arts, a book by Master Franco. I think there's anything else we could do in here. I mean, that was more how I was controlling him. I'm trying to get him to learn more skills, but he's not doing it. I want him to learn Swarm for the thrust. How close is he to leveling thrust, by the way? Oh, it's like it's not even that far off from his slash level. I'm just unlucky, I guess. I don't know who Angie is, so that has no context for me, to be honest with you. But I'm assuming the character has scarred you. We'll do one more training. This is for chat. There we go, look. I'm going to just make sure it's not something like do it 3 times and something different happens. Yeah, nothing different happened. The Regulus found in Infernia. We have Ouches. We got the Grandmaster. I think this is just the opening hall. Yeah, there are so many hidden items in this game. You are never going to find them without a guide. Because the hit detection for it is terrible. Rashran's River is a shortcut to Minch. But isn't that river pretty rough? No problem, we could borrow the strengths of the water Kramals. Kramals? Don't tell me you don't know what a Kramal is. I don't have interest in anything that doesn't fill my stomach. Wow, Reed. Yeah, I would get mad at him too, Farah. Kramals are not material beings. Fire, wind, water, light. They reside within all things and have many manifestations. And like Paulo, those who have the ability to control Kramals and their phenomena are known as Kramal mages, right? Oh. I'll take your word for it. That doesn't sound like a very pleasant character. Well, with a little training, anyone with a Kramal cage can learn. Is that thing in your hand a Kramal cage? Yes, that's right. By sealing Kramals within the Kramal crystal, you can perform various Kramal arts. Kramal. The Caramel mages. You know what, chat? It's funny that you say that, because when I was growing up, for some reason I really did think that said caramel. I was like, why are they collecting candies? Poor child me didn't understand, chat. Too young. Didn't understand what it meant. Oh, I see. Just stick the Kramals in there. Many ages ago, it is said there were many Kramal cages and many who knew how to use Kramal arts. Wow. Well then, I'll be waiting for you at the Rashine's River Pier. Please come when you're ready. Yeah, that does not sound pleasant. Poor guy's crying in there. Speaking of which, I guess we can update our title. The most important thing. Oh, we can rename the character. Oh, we only have 6 characters? That's it? Ooh. Chat, you're gonna have to think of some names. You gotta think about it. You now have the power, so you can rename them. Apparently we could be the Squire. Why did we learn the Squire title? Armor or fighter? Sure. She'll be performer, question mark. Yeah, only 6 characters, chat. That's very limiting and kind of disappointing. I feel like the shortest the name should be is 8 in those kinds of scenarios. Or more realistically, it should be 12, to be real. So I don't think there's anything else I can scavenge. I think we managed to surprisingly get everything. But do you see what I mean, chat? And like how easy it is to miss items in this game? Like there are just so many hidden things there. And this is why I probably won't purchase items from the store. Because if I'm searching really well, I'll probably always get upgrades. How does this work with the voice acting though? I think they still call themselves Reed, but it'll say something different. It'll just be very confusing.
do it.
Sonic Blade.
Triple Blossom.
Lightning Blade.
Ha. Ha. Ha.
Lightning Blade.
Ha. Ah.
Why is this not linking properly? Because I'm doing like jab into that.
No problem.
Thieves Cape. Okay, I'll take that. Let's see. That is a... Excuse me, that's a lot of defense. What the heck is this? That's better than every upgrade we could get at the shop. Never mind, chat. I'm never using the shop again. What a waste of time. Yeah. Characters like that would be a turn-off for me, Reed. If I had to sit through their dialogue and they were like a reoccurring character, I would be like, no way would I want to continue. Oh, Pala's at the pier. That's fine. I don't know if there's anything hidden here. I'm assuming there's probably at least one item here, because this game is ridiculous. And it doesn't even, like, properly put them at, like, walls. It'll put it, like, in the middle here, for example. But I don't see anything here. Sure, we're ready. I will call in the crane mills to calm the waters of the Rasheen River. While it's calm, take the raft down the river. Ooh. This language looks like what's being used to cast spells. Wow. So it looks like the magic casting language is her language. Yes? Please, don't mind her. May Safer protect you along the way. Thank you, Paulo. Good luck to you, too. Thanks. Paulo and I studied together at the dojo. You remember me? Away he goes, chat. Well, let's go. Oh no, we have a mini game. Steer the raft, X to accelerate. Steer the raft downstream. As you accelerate, the acceleration gauge will rise. The raft cannot be steered when the gauge is filled. Temporary loss of control will result if the raft hits an obstacle or the riverside. Okay. Oh boy. Why would I want to accelerate, though? Oh, well that was... Well, that was just unfair. Oh no, this is like Crash Bandicoot all over again, only with more awkward controls. Ooh. That is really difficult to get it to go through without bumping into something. Oh, maybe... No, accelerate doesn't help me turn faster. Oh, this is just kind of ridiculous. Okay, that's fair. Although I'm pretty sure is a guy. Oh my. I do not like this minigame. I hope we are alleviated from this soon. Yeah, it's very hard to do like very finessed movements, and it's also simultaneously hard to make big movements. It feels very weird. Hopefully this is the end of the minigame. Indeed it is. All that to get downstream. Can I just walk back the way we came, out of curiosity?
Let's do it. Ha.
Lightning Blade.
Ha. Palm strike. Ah.
Sonic Blade.
Ha. Triple blossom. Ah. Ha.
Lightning Blade.
Triple blossom.
Oh, Triple Blossom, you're the best. Also, I need to do more
Lightning
kicks,
Blade.
I think. No, I need punches.
your guard down
So I don't
yet.
do thrust. Thrust is apparently kick and not punch. So just more neutral inputs. Let's never speak of the minigame again. Yeah, it's just kind of awkward. It's not as smooth as you think it should be.
Let's do it.
Lightning
Like
Blade.
the Mario Party raft minigames are much easier to control than that, and they're meant to be purposely a little hard to do.
Triple blossom.
Lightning Blade.
So I'm just gonna do lots of rapid jabs just because I'm trying to level up my fist move. We
Minch
took
is a port city full of university students. It's near the ocean.
It is near the ocean. What I was trying to do was... What button? What am I looking for?
Minch is a port
No, not
city
about
full of-
Minch. That's fine. Well, that was weird. It didn't... Okay, whatever. Maybe I have some button overriding the camp menu. For some reason, I hit that button and it gave me something else. Weird. So far, not too bad. Like, as you can see, the combat rate is insanely high.
Lightning blade.
So I'm just gonna level up my fist moves.
Sonic blade.
All in one chat. Speaking of which,
Lightning blade.
I want this to be healer. That should be fine. So I can kind of force her to use spells, which is nice.
Did we get him?
Let's see, are we allowed to backtrack from here, or is this a point of no return? You cannot enter from this side. Okay, so if we missed any items, chat, sucks to be you, I guess.
Triple blossom. Ha.
I'm just curious how long it takes to heal, comparatively.
Sonic blade. Lightning blade.
Not a super long amount of time.
Palm strike. Triple blossom.
Lightning blade.
Not bad, not bad.
Phew, they were tough.
Okay. So let us continue on this way. There's a couple places we could go to. Speaking of which, beef stew. Increases attack power, restores minimal health. We have enough for some basic healing. I'm gonna save that for when we're in a dungeon. Fine.
Let's do it. Triple blossom.
Lightning blade.
Maybe we just got some basic combos.
Lightning blade.
Out of curiosity, does she have any crazy jump combos?
Lightning blade.
Feel like it. The rising kick isn't bad.
Let's do it.
Combat and counter rate. Could be a break.
Sonic blade.
I kind of need him to go in.
Lightning blade.
Can you go forward? Thank you.
Lightning blade.
Really? There we go. I just needed some healing.
Triple blossom. Is that it?
So I'm getting a little low on TP, which is a little scary in this game. I'm just gonna immediately camp and heal. We have a couple of locations we could potentially go
Let's
to.
do it. Ha.
Hello, evil
Sonic
mahogany.
Ha.
The trees actually do a crazy amount of damage, so hopefully I can kind of delete them before they do anything too bad.
Lightning blade.
Triple blossom.
One thing I kind of wish that this game had is that when you do normal attacks, I wish it gave you TP. I think some of the later games do that to kind of balance things out. We have like another location all by itself up there. We also have a town that's over here. Let's go to the town first. Mahogany's for furniture, not evil. Exactly,
Let's
chat.
do it.
Lightning blade.
I love her kick attack though. It's gonna do little hop kicks.
Lightning blade.
Triple blossom. We don't lose.
Nice and simple, chat. Let's check out the town. It sure is a lively place. May already see something I don't recognize. They all look the same to me. How are we ever gonna find Keel? He's our childhood friend. We'll recognize him in an instant. Hopefully. Well, first, let's try Minch University. Yeah, lots of people. We think her uniform is cute? No. This is the Minch town of academia. The town is centered around the university. It's a town full of students, okay. Oh, the lucky cat, but we can't interact with it. One full night is 20 gold. Okay, we'll take that. We need our TP back, chat. More than anything else, we need the TP. HP, we have like a bazillion apple gels for when we're in a boss battle. So I'm not super worried about that. Imperial Charter. Chapter 1, Sovereignty of the Royal Family. Chapter 2, the Rights and Duties and Nobility. Rights and Duties and Nobility. Chapter 3, Duties of the Common People. Scriptures of the True Holy Teachings. Again, there's a lot of potential random items. Soaring Dragon. Tons of things to potentially investigate. Are you lost? The main building of the university is to the left, the port is to the right. Let's go to the port first. Young people today, always prancing about, wasting time. They're certainly not doing their best to represent the university. Classes are apparently canceled. So nothing to really interact with here. People are talking about finals. I'm sure some people in the chat can relate to that. Should concentrate on the study of the caloric flow of white cramels. Again, like, it sounds like they're talking about calories in the caramel mages. I'm telling you, chat. We can't talk to those two. But we're gonna investigate the heck out of this port. Remember when the sky exploded, but there's really big swells afterwards? Something's going on. Okay, nothing to interact with here, surprisingly. Dear mother, it doesn't look like I'm able to graduate this year either. What an ungrateful child I am. Wow. But I can't find anything at the port, disappointingly. We go in the building. Although I think the other person's blocking us. Okay, let's reset them and hopefully they don't block us. There we go. Okay, we can't seem to rob the cathedral, which is a shame. Lately, the mention across the sea stands Mount Farlos. The teaching is sacred originated there, the tallest mountain in the world. I'm a shameful person. I cheated on my test. Now I'll carry that guilt with me for the rest of my life. Don't tell my professor. We can hear a sermon or confess. Let's hear a sermon first. For one so young, your intentions are commendable. Now then, let me ask you, have you ever made sacrifices to help someone? Priest, I don't like where the sermon is going. I'm feeling a little worried about our characters. Reed says, yeah. When I was a kid, there was a girl who felt sorry for the village chickens. She didn't want them to be eaten, so she let them all escape. Next day, there was a big uproar in the village. I felt bad for her, so I told everyone I did it and got spanked for it. Oh, what a beautiful story. Your punishment may have been painful, but I'm sure Seyfried values your act of kindness. Hey, wait a minute. Wouldn't have been caught if you didn't leave your footprints there, Reed. Well, yeah, but my plan was perfect. But you had to go and steal some eggs and blow the whole thing. It's not my fault. I was hungry. You're always hungry. Leave me alone. Well? Stop it, both of you. Are you forgetting where you are? If you're going to squabble, do it outside. So much for our heartwarming story. Let's confess. I will be glad to take your confession. Now then, what is your sin? Well, I guess you could say that I betrayed myself. I swore I'd always live peacefully in machines. Then I let others talk me into things, and now here I am, far away from home. No, your home is far away village. You're not at home. It's not exactly a sin, nor would I call it a betrayal. It's fate. You've been given the destiny of traveling far from home. You must say it's a tale. Destiny. We'll keep that in mind from here to Eternia, chat. Let's go in the building. Student store. Probably has overpriced goods, chat. Take a look at the fighting technique advice, though. Yeah, we know about chaining attacks. That's fine. We know about the 3-hit combo. It requires doing the uppercut. Apparently, Melnick's Melnick's language dictionaries and will not be expecting a new shipment anytime soon. It doesn't that I think Melnick's does show up in the later Tales games, at least references to it. Sells swords, axes, and spears in the shop. The student store sells healing items and weapons for some reason. But it's fine, we'll save our money. Zephyr was a crappy name for a gun. Adidos, that's the name for a gun. I'm not gonna lie, not feeling it. I like Safebird a bit more, to be honest. Eat while you're young and still growing. Ooh, food items. Not feeling it. So we have the very suspicious flower, which we'll go investigate in a second. Weird people talking about diets. Seem to be anything related to plot, though. Yeah, they're unhappy with the cafeteria food. Well, let's investigate the very obvious flower. I am the mysterious Wonder Chef. I'll show you how to make a hamburger. Ever popular with students. Learn how to make a hamburger. Hamburgers have 3 ingredients: bread, lettuce, and bear meat. We are going to be going on a bear killing spree according to these cooking items. Received ingredients. Have a nice day. Does I think of a pathetic name like Gilbert? You're going really hard on the name. I'll let you know. I think Seyfried's fine. It's like unique enough that it doesn't sound like a common name. Entrance for the exam is difficult when only elite students selected all over from Infernia. Okay, so they are confirming we are in the place of Infernia. Let's see. Why don't we measure data at the observatory? They said there's monsters there. I'm sure we'll be going there soon. There's the university. I unintentionally went the right way. Again, I think you're going super hard in on a name. I don't think it's that bad. Commonly found Melnix. Yensu, Mui, Yu, and Yao. Oh, Melnix is the language she's speaking. Okay. So, I wonder how much of this, if you were to take all these Melnix translations, if you would be able to reverse translate what the game gives you. I don't particularly want to do that now, because I don't really want things spoiled, but it looks like it's maybe giving you the tools to do so in the game. Following books are missing. If you know their whereabouts, please contact the librarian. Yellow King, Serrano Fragment, the Seventh Son, and NG. What? I don't know if that's a reference to something. Let's see, everybody wants to go to Royal Observatory of Astronomy in Infernia City. I think the best graduates there. Fiona, Ancient History, will you read it? Oh, we're actually getting plot. Sure, we'll read the book. Long before the Infernia Empire was established, there was a highly technologically advanced civilization called the Melnick Civilization. The bridge was built between Infernia and Celestia, and people came and went freely between the two worlds. Okay. Oh, that whole bookshelf is one book. Volume 3, Life. Let's read it, chat. All things consist of water cramoles. By observing the number stated of these cramoles, the health of an organism can be determined. However, the cramoles are not found in the bodies of monsters. For this reason, this is a great deal of interest in the research of the topic. Fair enough. Let's take a look at the other bookshelves. See, I would have hidden something behind the bookshelf here. If we were going to hide items arbitrarily, I would have put one there. But I'm going to double check. There's nothing there, apparently. Encyclopedia 4, Cramology, I guess is how you say that. At one time, Cramol scholars had long debates over whether Cramols were living organisms or simply physical matter. It's now widely recognized that Cramols are living organisms. However, there's still a wide range of opinions on whether or not they're intelligent beings. Okay. And last book, Volume 5, Industry. It's well known that Cramols prefer to dwell in particular types of crystals. However, ores, with the Z, ridiculous, appears to be preferred type of the many crystalline forms. Ores crystals are used in the Cramble cages or ores earring, but unfortunately their manufacturing process is currently unknown. So I guess this is suggesting that maybe Merity has an earring and we use the cages? That's what I would guess that book means, that it's setting up for why she can use spells. Because she speaks the language that's used to cast spells, so we have a little bit of an idea of why she's able to do that. And so she probably has a special earring. Because she has long hair, so it's probably not easy to see that she has it. That's gonna be my guess, chat. Oh, we're interrupting some kind of cutscene. It's okay, Rin. Let's see what Katrine has to say. Yeah, don't worry and go on ahead. As soon as I've gathered the research materials, I'll go straight to Inferia City. Again, who names themselves Inferia? I mean, like, that's very on the nose, plot writers. Come on. Couldn't they just call this place Terra or something else, like Terra and Celestia? Really have to go with Inferia? It's a terrible name. Did we want to talk about names? That is just like eye-roll worthy naming. Pierre says, thank you. I'll be waiting at the observatory. Let's get married after the academic conference. Uh-oh, Pierre, I see some bad things in your future. You're going to the monster-infested observatory? Well, goodbye, Pierre. Rest in peace. Yeah, we're number 2, exactly, chat. Say, is anything wrong? Hey, Farah, we should mind our own business. There's an important conference coming up in the city, but I haven't completed preparing the paper to be presented yet. Uh-huh. So we decided to have Pierre go on ahead and I would follow after him. After I prepare the paper. I see. Will you make it on time? Yes, I don't have that much more to do. It sounds like you'll be okay. Well... You see, I've never been outside of Minch. I don't know if I could get to Inferia City all on my own. Don't be so negative. You could do it. You could do anything if you put your mind to it. I guess you're right. Thank you. All right, no problem. It must be so nice to be in love. We didn't get a title from that? Really? Interesting. Oh, these two. I remember these two, chat. The twins. Well, we'll show this off. I'm not going to play long enough to get the title. If you're curious, you do get a title for this. No, it is not worth it in any sense. Sure, we'll play it. Sure, we'll listen to the rules. Alright, so you gotta smack each other with giant balls, chat. This is the explanation of the game. It's very silly. You could flip which color you are, and it's all about magnets attracting and repelling things. Let's go ahead and try the minigame. Hit your opponent with the ball, some colors repel, different colors attract. Raise the player's color will temporarily expand and then disappear. Sure, we'll try it once.
Take this! Take this! Take this! Take this!
Oh, she flipped the color on me. She got me.
Take this!
Oh, she's still dead. I mean, that was a free hit for me.
Take this! Take this! Take this!
Ball doesn't have any elements. It's kind of annoying. Can it please gain an element? Is it because she's not getting an element? It's not getting an element? Come on. There we go.
Take this!
It changed element color on me mid-use. That sucks. What an annoying game. I'll do it one more time. I think I could clear the basic one. Yeah, it's very annoying because you just have to kind of wait for it to change colors, and then like mid-match it could just change while you're doing the repel with the elemental bomb. It's very tedious, chat, I'll put it that way. This is one of those mini games. I did it once on my own, and then I'm like, what a waste of time. Like, see this, chat? I can't do anything about this. Now I could do something. But then it lost its color. You see what I mean? Like, more often than not, it's probably gonna time out. It's just kind of ridiculous like that. If the ball always had an element color, I think that would be more understandable. to be honest with you, but the fact that I have to just kind of wait it out is kind of ridiculous. Oh, she walked into it by herself. That also helps. If she just chooses not to dodge, we'll take that. I mean, I should win by default at this point. I don't have to do anything. I also love that you just kind of bump into the wall like that. That is kind of funny.
Take this. All right.
Why are there multiple rounds? Right, chat, this is what I'm talking about. Like, come on. Come be a break here. Did she literally walk into me to stop me from dodging? What a troll. What an absolute troll, chat. Look at that. She is. That is aggressive AI. Oh, she did that to herself. That's her fault. You can't escape Cradle Ball. This is your life now. There are so many we have. Like, why is this still going on, chat? I don't understand. Alright, well. AI is just totally stopping me from doing anything. This is fine. You see this AI, like, walking with me? Stop that. She trolled herself. Alright, that was pretty good. She finally tried to blast it at me, but it didn't work. Oh my gosh, please stop. I think we, like, get stuck to each other because we have the opposite elements. So I think as long as I just circle here, we just win. I'm pretty sure. As long as I don't go too far from her at any point.
All right.
So anyway, this is how I win most matches, just by timeout. We're in the title of Master Roller. Come again soon. Alright. Well, we got the title. I guess we did it. Yay. I feel like the mini games in this one, they're okay, but they're not like, they're just like a little too long. Like that one I basically had to time out because there's just nothing you can really do to speed that up. Like it's random whether or not you could do anything. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, so we're talking to the receptionist within the academy. And we're asking, could you tell us where Keel Zabel is, please? He should be a student here. Pardon me, but what is your relationship with this student? We're childhood we're his family! Our father is sick and we have to get in touch with him right away. We just straight up lie, I love it. Just a moment, please. ID number 34604. Keel Zabel, Light Cramble Department. Light Cramble Department? Where is that? Merity got up on the desk. And she's dancing. I don't understand why. What do you think you're doing? Thanks for everything. We definitely have sins to confess later. I agree, chat. Welcome, you come to volunteer for the experiment. Experiment? Yes, the experiment on withstanding high temperatures. I don't have many volunteers, because it's extremely hot. Bye. Hey, wait. Wait, can I volunteer? No. I can't change my mind, chat. So this must be the Light Cramble Laboratory. Wait, okay, we'll be right back. They already said something we don't understand, so nothing new there. Let's go in. They look quite busy. Let's look for someone willing to talk to us. So much to do, so little time. Not finding any collectibles here. Don't talk to me now. I'm in the middle of an experiment. I'm busy here. Can't you please leave? Excuse me. Do you know Keel? Keel? Are you friends of his? Yes, so you must know Keel. My name is Zamk. I'm a research assistant just as he was. And where is Keel now? Well... Uh-oh. The gem on our forehead is messing with all the technology. Verity, did you do that? Oh, I guess instead of the earring, I guess it could be the gem on our forehead. That would also make sense. Oh, Dean Carlisle. Are you responsible for this? Well, not exactly. You could say it was our fault, but then again, I don't want to hear any excuses. What are you going to do about this damage? Well, I don't know. Doc, show these outsiders to the exit. Kick them out of the school grounds. Yes, sir. I hope I didn't lose an opportunity to look at the other locations. Like says, don't worry about what the dean says. Carlisle has a short temper, but he'll forget all about it soon. I'm sorry. Can I ask you a question? Is that the Melnix language she spoke? Narity says a lot. The Melnix language? I'm sure of it. All the Cramo mage spells are in the same ancient language she was using. I'm studying about it now in school. Does that mean you can understand what Merity says? I'm afraid I can't. Your average Cramo mages shouldn't be able to speak such pure Melnix language. Is she a... Excuse me, I hope my question isn't rude, but might you be an Imperial Cramo mage? An Imperial Cramo mage? Her? But why would a Cramo mage come here? Does she have some connection with Keel? Well, you see... He's very happy. Quickie's doing a little stomp, too. Oh, no! Imperial Cramo mage has divine messages for us. Huh? What? Divine messages? We must find Keel now. Where do you suppose he is? He's at the... Mount Mitch Observatory. Mount Mitch is in the mountain southwest of Mitch, isn't it? Thank you. Oops, I almost forgot. Why isn't Keel at the university? Oh, that's because he's been suspended from school. He started spouting about the theory of world chain destruction and turned Carlisle and everyone else in the school against him. World destruction? Why would Keel think of such a thing? Those crazy students, chat, always talking about the end of the world. Even if you do find him, he might refuse to see you. He's even turned me away a few times. Anyway, we've got to meet him in person. Thanks for all your help. Thanks for waiting. Merity says something we don't understand. Her? Imperial Cramo Mage? I can't imagine. Merity's earned the title of Cramo Mage, question mark. Well, it certainly is a big step forward on us learning she speaks Melnix. No problem. What we have to do now is head for the observatory southwest of here. I actually want to go back in the room immediately. We're looking around for items, chat. The majesty and virtue of Inferia, as seen in the legend of Altus Bay. What else we seem to do here now? Forger, since he's hungry. That's not a bad name. Take that for now. Oh, the crosshairs for the letter select. I'll go with that. This is a place of serious learning. Don't let weirdos hang around here. Water Cramo Laboratory. Let's take a look inside. Does that mean Crane exists for the sake of human beings? No, I'm saying it's the role of Crane is to watch over human beings. That's true. Why do we have things like natural disasters? The Crane like to make us suffer. Perhaps Crane believe the trials and natural disasters are good for us in the long run. Excuse me. Does that mean Crane exists for the sake of human beings? No, I'm saying it... Oh, they're in a loop. They'll never speak to us. Are we not allowed to go inside further? Well, that's annoying. Apparently I can't investigate this room. I know, that's a very strange decision to not just, you know, give it like a cursor or a reticle, like you're saying, chat. So unfortunately, I'm now stuck in this dialogue loop because I entered the door again. So we're not allowed to investigate the room, which is kind of unfortunate. Professor, the Ren Cramos, are they behaving erratically again? Ah! We can't enter that room either. There are so many rooms to explore. Oh, so the guy was just saying he can't remember. Oh, there's exam rooms. Oh, was there a quiz here? I don't think I want to do the quiz today. No, we'll do the quiz later. I need to be more awake to do the quiz because I think it's mostly Tales knowledge. There's an exam today, but I wasted all my building materials yesterday. This guy's having an epiphany. The theory of escape energy. Leave him alone for now. Exam room advanced. So I think there are 3 different tests we can take. I think we'll do that. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. How awake am I feeling? Because I think some of it is like time-based, so I can't really linger on the questions for very long. I mean, well, I guess I could try. I don't know when I'm oh, it's not the right room. I imagine it'll be mostly Tales of Destiny questions, but it could be other Namco related games. I'm more likely to get those wrong. But we'll see. We'll try it once. Let's see how close I could get. So just preparing myself, I'm gonna hydrate. Just try to wake up a little. I'd like to try a beginner exam. Okay, just don't make me have like a huge time pressure and I think I could get this. Alright, I wish you the best of luck. Oh. Hey look Chad, it's Booger from Tales of Destiny. Hello, I'll be reading the exam questions for you. Are you ready? Sure. Let us begin then. Question 1. Which game was not featured in Namco Museum Volume 3? What? Oh, I just guessed. Oh, and there's a time limit. Oh, that's brutal. Question 2. Oh, this is so fast. Chad, I barely... Wait, what? Ozon was in there? Oh, no. One of these titles not produced by Namco? Tales of Dragon is not a thing. What does Rembrandt and Mikkel often say? I think it's hee. Man, this is brutal. Which character does not belong in the list? Stan. The other characters were Tekken characters. Question 6. Which one of these does not belong in the list? Target Zone? Yeah, okay. Question 7. To where below is the anti-grav? Oh, shoot. What was the name of the place in Registrel? Was it Heidelberg? Or was it Darshield? Oh, it's Dark Shield. Dang. I always forget. I always get those names mixed up. 7 generals. Who's the only female general? Melina? Question 9. Claudius, what does Barak reveal about his intentions for the world? I don't remember who Barak was. Oh, was that the... Oh, never mind. I now remember too late, unfortunately. When Carol appears in Moreau, she said, people call me... She said... Blue Lightning. Wait, Carol's a she? I think my world is turned upside down. I think that has to be a typo. That makes no sense. Carol's definitely a guy. Who's Stan's sister? Lilith. Question 12. Which one of these titles was not produced? See, these not produced ones are the hard ones for me. I don't know what Fighting Caliber is, so just pick that one. Question 13. Which character is the official mascot of Namco? Assuming Pac-Man at the time. It's like, I don't know how true that is now. I had to think about that. What item is needed at the frozen river north of Snowfria? It's the fur cape. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a typo. That doesn't make any sense. How many doors in the hidden temple can be unlocked with the Swordian? Excuse me? Wow, that is ultra specific. I'm gonna guess 3. Sure. Question 16. The castle what item possessed by Sense Party was used as a homing beacon. Tiara. Question 17. Which game does not belong in the list? Air combat? Okay. Question 18. Which color are the Pac-Man's eyes? Black. Question 19. What is the name of the navy that resides in Aquavale? Ooh. Was it Red Cross or Black Cross? Black Cross, okay. Question 20. The many shops that migrated from Dark Shield to Radisor, which shop was the first to settle? Oh, come on, that's so difficult. Was it the inn? It was the inn, okay. If it had been, I thought it was gonna make me guess the shop name, because I was gonna say that is far beyond me. Question 21, why did Alba request Chelsea to return? Sew buttons on pants. Question 22. There are so many questions. What the heck? What is the name of the sea dragon that Philia gave Philia a ride? Bernardo. I remember that from the chat. Question 23. What happened to Miriam and Mikkel? She died. Oh, I'm sorry. That doesn't count. It has to be jumped. I'm sorry. She jumped. My bad. Roll your eyes, chat. She is dead, though. That's not that's not wrong. What is the name of the bioalloy found at the trash mountain? Bacillium, I think. Why are there so many questions? Which one of these is not a Namco arcade hit? Dragon Valor? Okay. Jeez, chat. This is a brutal quiz. Who stirred up hatred in Junkland? I don't remember who stirred up hatred in Junkland. I'm trying to think what they're even meaning by that. I have to think about that question. Question 27, what is the color of the ribbon of Miss Pac-Man? I actually don't know. I'm just assuming pink, because she's the girl. Question 28. What is Philia's rank at the Strayleys Temple? Just priestess, I think. She's not high priestess. Question 29. What color are the eyes of Miss Pac-Man? Is it also black, or is it a different color? Oh, black's... It is also black, okay. Question 30. What is the minigame played at Sharik? Tag. That's tag. Let's see. Wow, that is so brutal. That is so brutal how quick that quiz is. I think I know which ones I got wrong, but man, you have to do that so quick. Absolutely brutal, chat. Absolutely brutal. You barely have time to, like, think about the question. So, I guess they asked, like, the same question multiple times. Oh, you know what it was? It's a trick question. Marion dies, but they're referring to... I just thought about it. They're referring to when she escapes the first time. So she escaped from a pod. I don't know if it was the upper or lower pod. Man, that is just absolutely nasty. This is the beginner quiz. Just like, I did pretty well. I feel like I just got timed out on a couple of those. Like, to me, the pacing of the questions was like way too fast. Like, I had to really, really think about it. So I think I could get this again. It just requires a lot of concentration. We'll try it again. I think I could do this. I think the only other question was, it was asking about, what's his name from Tales of Destiny? Baruch. I think that was the second to it wasn't the villain's plan. It was the second to last fight we do. I think he just wanted to destroy the world. So I'll pick whichever one is like return to zero or whatever. Let's try this again. But yeah, this is like super fast paced. Apparently he's named Johnny in the original Japanese version. It makes sense because his piano says Johnny. Yeah, this is super fast. What game does not belong in the list? I think I said air combat last time. I think we said last time it was Melina. At least the answers are in the same position, but the questions are random. I think I guessed this one incorrectly last time. I think it was Darshield. I'm trying to go as long as possible. What color are Pac-Man eyes? That's fine, that's black. Who is Stan's sister? That is Lilith. Which would be kind of messed up because she's not barely playable. The other one we did. Oh, Klonoa. Oh, Klonoa is its own game. Duh. That was an easy question, actually, that I got wrong. I think we got this without a hint book, chat. I think I understood what I did most of them wrong. Like, what I got wrong there. Okay. I think I understood most of the questions that I got wrong. Like, I was between, like, only a couple when I got it wrong, so I think I understand what to do. Which one would this be? There's Mr. Driller, yeah. It's confusing because Dig Dug is... I have actually played that game that they're talking about. That's the only reason I know that. Yeah, we know about Bernardo. That's for chat. Belcrant is a location in the game. What colors are Miss Pac-Man's eyes? Everything is black, apparently. Item is needed at the Frozen River. That's the fur cape. Remember, we take elemental damage from it. Not an arcade hit. Shoot, what did I say last time for this? Oh, Dragon Valor. Question 17. Which one of these is not produced by Namco? Fighting Caliber is not a real game, to my knowledge. These do not belong on the list. I think I said Target Zone. Because those are all the first-person shooter games that they did. Okay, this should be Return World to Zero, I think. Okay, so we corrected that. Which one of these titles was not produced by Namco? Tales of Dragon. I think that's supposed to be Tales of Dragoon, but I forgot the O. That makes it a bit easier to find. What is the bioalloy? I'm blanking on it. I think it was Bacillium. This one I completely guessed. I am so lucky I just guessed that randomly. We would have been there forever. But we're almost done with the quiz, John. Which character does not belong on the list? We know it's Stan. The other characters are Tekken characters. That one's easy enough. What's the name of the Navy? Shoot, what did I say? Did I say it was the Black Cross? I think I did. I was between Black and Red Cross, so I was trying to remember which one I did. Then I just assumed Pink because girl. That I remember. How many chefs I migrated? Which was the first? I was pretty sure it was the Inn. So I'm glad that that was the correct answer. Who stowed up hatred in Junkland? Oh, it was Philia. Okay. I had to think about that. I remember she was weirdly prejudiced with it now. I had to really think about what it was talking about it. Oh, it's one of these two. I'm gonna guess lower pod. Okay, it was lower pod. See, that's a trick question, because she does die. What is the minigame? Oh, I think I got it, chat. Nice. We got it in 2 tries. I understood exactly what I got wrong. I, like, barely remembered Philia. She had, like, some weird misgiving with it. I don't remember the Tales of Destiny reason for it, but I'm sure my playthrough will remind me if I go watch it later. We now earned the title of Namco teacher. Received a melange gel. Be leaving now when my grandfather worried about me. Away she goes. Never to be seen again, chat. Isn't the great beyond. Since caught cheating during the exam will be expelled immediately. Well, we did not need to cheat. I have a surprising amount of Namco knowledge. I just feel like the time pressure made me slip up. Yeah, we're not allowed to do the intermediate one yet, I think. I think there are later ones. But I feel like I'm looking in a little guide for the, what is it, the lens, but I don't see a way to get into those rooms. So I'm not sure what we're supposed to do with that. Because we can't even get into the water laboratory, which is where one of them is. Unless now we could do it or something weird. But every time we went in there, they were like blah blah blahing and we couldn't get in. So we'll maybe have to come back for this one. So I have to check out the machine in the back of the room. So Chad, how many more do you think are in this giant town? I don't know if we asked that question yet or not. So we are going on a lens collection. So well, you know, there's at least one. Because I can't go in there. Gonna go with 4. Very optimistic numbers. I did forget one. Hey chat, look how ridiculous that is. Would you have guessed there was a hidden item there? Would you have guessed, chat, that that little path with the tree is where the lens was? This game, chat. See, this is why I have a guide, because for this specifically, and only this, it's just so ridiculous. I don't even know what to say, chat. It's just so ridiculous. So, unfortunately, chat, there's only 2. But I can't get the other one that's here. You know what? I think we'll go long enough to maybe potentially collect another party member, but then I think I'm gonna have to take a break. So there's not really a big point in doing stuff out of order in this game, to be honest. We'll just kind of continue along our way.
Triple blossom. Triple blossom. Triple blossom.
Triple blossom, chat.
All right.
Lots of money. I suppose I should use it at some point, but right now we don't really need to. Let's go to the observatory if we're able to. Regular slime. I think we got this. Let's level up our fist technique a little more. Nice and simple. This is the load point. When you save inside a dungeon, you'll go here. So interestingly, we've now changed to visible enemies on the world map, so that's kind of fun. Found an orange gel. Found a saber. So I think we can move the rock over here to block their spawn points, but really not needed, to be honest with you. Like you can see, I could kind of slide it around if I really want to. You know what? I'll get into one fight with them.
Let's do it. Triple blossom.
Lightning blade.
I don't intend to. Oh, speaking of which,
Sonic blade.
I don't intend to really get all the spectacle unlocks for characters.
Lightning blade.
Honestly, I just want to enjoy the RPG for what it is. I don't want to bother with 100%.
Lightning blade.
I will do jump kicks repeatedly though. Out of curiosity, one thing. If I switch who my formation starter is... For example, if I do this... I am allowed to use heal. Okay. Play as the protagonist for a little bit. Although, we should be getting another character shortly. Make a camp? Sure. So I will say the game, even though it has pretty crazy encounter rates, I do like that it mixes it up with some visible enemies in the overworld. And I also like that it gives you a lot of ways to heal. So even though combat is harder, it's like, I just have to survive an encounter versus like an entire dungeon with the difficulty. It's not too bad.
Let's do it. Huh. Lightning blade.
Tuh.
Tuh, tuh, tuh.
Here,
Tuh,
here.
huh. Huh, huh.
Yeah. On hard mode, every encounter almost feels like a boss fight, unless you're super over leveled. Thrust spam, chat. The thrust spam is real. I think I'm gonna take advantage of our range. Yeah, I think it's like pretty fun for the most part. Speaking of which, nice. Wow, that's a big damage increase. Even though we lose some accuracy, I think I'm okay with that. I like that you could walk along them. That's like an actual use for the walk mechanic in the game. I don't think there's anything hidden back there, but I'll investigate. As I said before, things have been more ridiculously hidden.
Let's do it. Huh, 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 huh.
Also, I feel like the enemies are slightly different in this game. I'm curious if it's like the difference between normal and hard mode, because I remember way prior to this point, I fought mages. Maybe that's a hard mode only thing.
Tuh, tuh.
You love the zombie carousel.
That was close.
Although I think they're supposed to be rock golems, but they definitely look like zombies. I don't blame you on that one, Kirk. They definitely look like zombies. Wait, what? Wait. Why am I out? Why did I leave? Oh. Oh, that was kind of confusing.
Nobody is here.
It was kind of confusing because I took the exit and it left me on the world map, and I'm like, but why?
Hello? Keel?
It's useless, I tell you.
Ah!
Yakunsu.
Cramal movements are causing a buildup in the globule distortion field. And if you're saying that the Orbis wave has no relationship with the Doctark effect, you need to rethink the basics of cramalology.
Yeah, you noobs.
Keel?
Huh? You're not from Minch University?
It's me, Farah Orsted. Farah, your childhood friend. It's been a long time. How are you?
Farah?
You've really grown. For a minute, I didn't recognize you.
Well, it's been 10 years. Of course he's changed.
Is that you, Reed?
Is that you, Gorger?
Hey there.
Yippee! The old gang is back together again.
Taururu yayo unruputun. Bunai nun tisu ainon. Tiun paiti rud.
See, Chad is enjoying the new party member.
Who's this?
Her name is Meredy. We came to see you because we want to help her.
She only speaks Melnix. Can you help?
Melnix language? Who is she anyway?
Alright, chat, the moment of truth on whether or not they changed the voice acting, because it's been a long time since I played it, as I said before, is when Keel uses a very specific spell. If he does not say it the way that I remember it, I'm going to be immensely disappointed. I'm just like, you know, the disappointment will be grand. His lines in the PlayStation 1 version are absolutely ridiculous whenever he says a spell.
We don't know. That's why we're here.
So I'm hoping that didn't change.
Melnix language, huh? Okay.
Keel has really made something of himself. I'm so proud of him. Don't you think so too, Reed?
Let's catch up to them.
Okay.
So we're saying my name is Keel Zabel. So I guess we could also learn a little bit about the language by looking at the characters for people that are interested. Yoo-hoo. She gives like 20 million lines. Exactly. Yoo-hoo, where? She appears to really not understand that people don't speak her language. Which is kind of crazy on her part. Like, she should have some ability to realize that they don't know how to speak the language very well at this point. Hey, are you getting anywhere? I can't already come with subtitles like Keel. Exactly. No, you can't be. You understood? I knew you could. What is it, Keel? She said she's from Celestia. Celestia? You mean she's from the world hanging in the sky upside down? Oh, come on now. Merity's a little weird, but she's obviously a regular person. What? What about her is regular? Come on, Reed. Nothing about her is regular. She doesn't even speak the language. She has a weird alien creature following her. You found her spaceship. Like, what else do you need to know? Like, come on. Jeez, chat. I think he failed math class, because he's not putting 2 and 2 together. Barista, that's right. Celestians are supposed to be... Volume 2, Chapter 2 of the Leona Encyclopedia says that Celestians are a ferocious man-eating race. Yeah, they're really not. She couldn't possibly. Well, true or not, that's what she said. I have to think about my Keel voice, actually. I'll just leave it neutral for now. I want to come back to it next time / tomorrow. Merity says things we don't understand. What's that thing on her head? It looks like a stone. Merity says something, and she smacks us. Ow, Keel! I think I know what she just said. She called you a pervert. Quick, says Quickie. Quickie is circling us. Anyway, we have to find out what she wants. Georgia went to the Senkai School of Denial. You're not wrong, chat. Oh, here it is. Why, Merity, come? Why? Come. Oh boy, that's a big bunch of words there. He's lost. It's an ancient language. Even Keel can't get it all at once. I can do it. This is no different than all the research I've done. So she recognizes something and has run over to it. What is she looking at? It's a map. Presumably this is the gate device that they're talking about. Maybe that's the planets we're looking at with the different circles. There's technically 3 planets or something weird. Because, I mean, that looks like the symbol in the sky in the middle. So I'm assuming that's what it wants us to know. There's kind of like heaven, then there's hell, then there's earth, I guess. Trihecaton is asking what system this is on. So we're playing the PSP version, but it's also available for the PlayStation 1. There's quite a few games that are available on the PlayStation 1 by default. This is the technically Tales of Destiny 2 on PS1, or the Tales of Eternia in the other localizations. Hope you're doing well, Tri. Merity is clarifying all the plot that Tri needs to know. I hope Tri's taking notes. I mean, we can all read it. Yes, that's right. On the bottom is Infernia, and on the top is Celestia. In the middle is the Orbis Barrier. Oh, the middle is the Orbis Barrier. I was close. All this collectively is called Eternia. This is the world we live in. Hence the Tales of Eternia, chat. Inferia. Celestia. Boom. Oh, that's not it. That's... I think that translates. See, we're all experts, chat. Exactly. An explosion? No way. Inferia! Celestia! Boom! She's learning boom. Hey, Kill, explain for us. Reed/Gorger, come on. Do you not understand they're gonna collide? Jeez, chat. We need somebody with a couple more working brain cells. Come over here. Okay, so we're gonna look at through the observatory lens, and we're gonna see the other planet presumably getting much closer. So long, inferior beings. Exactly, chat. What does this have to do with anything? Just look. They did say the sky looked different. So presumably it's because we see the Orbis barrier / the other planet. Can you see the Orbis barrier? Yes, so. I'll enlarge it. Wait. What's this? The dark matter. It seems to be growing bigger by the day. And that must be why the color of the sky is different. Or like Reed is Joey and Kill is Kaiba. Maybe. So, what's that dark matter? I was gonna say, it's a Kirby final boss. Don't worry about it, Reed. Kirby will take care of it. A sign of world destruction. It apparently thinks you gifted yourself Try, but thank you for subscribing. Or maybe it had the wrong name twice. I'm not really sure, because now it says Rorschach just subscribed. I'm confused. I'm mixed up by the alerts. I'm actually gonna check. Why did it do that? 1 second, chat. Who actually got it? Oh, Try gifted to Rorschach. Got it. I'm gonna have to take a look at that alert. I mean, Try can subscribe to himself. I mean, that's also fine. Or gift himself a sub, I suppose. So I'm gonna have to see why it did that later. It's possible that Merity's here to warn us of the danger. We should look into this further. Look into it? How? We've got to see the Professor Mazet. Mazet? Maybe it's Mazet. He's an authority of the Melnix language. He left Mitch University. He's currently living in... I was gonna say Morley, or is that Moral? Village. It's throwing me a lot of like curveballs with some of the pronunciations, chat. You're kidding, right? We're also on a whole different continent. This is getting ridiculous. I'm going with Keel. I can't just ignore Merity. Gorger, words we clearly understand. We're leaving. Are you ready? Keel, you're not much of a traveler. Are you sure you're gonna be okay? That was when I was a little kid. I'm fine now. We'll see. Well, let's go. This is gonna be one long trip. Don't worry, it'll work out somehow. No problem. She's trying to leave, but I see like 5 chests that I want to collect. Farah, to get to the location we need to go to, you have to go through the Nostos cave located to the east of here. I don't know about this. You're telling me. Let's go back inside. Why are you making me leave? What is this? It sure doesn't look like a map of the world. Don't you know anything? This is the map of the heavens. It's Celestia's geographical features as seen through a telescope and mapped out. I see. I thought for sure that would be a Wonder Chef. I'm not gonna lie, chat. 100% thought it was gonna be a Wonder Chef. It's empty. It's empty. It's also empty. That is also empty. Hey, Keel, what used to be in this box? Holy bottles. Holy bottles? Yeah, I can't get back to Mitch without it. And even when you use the holy bottle, didn't you still occasionally get attacked? Well, if that happens, all you have to do is run for your life. There we go, explaining a game mechanic. Not bad. Take a look through the telescope. We're not allowed to zoom in. Found 1 holy bottle. Okay, so it's worth coming in here. Orbis barrier research log. Robophysics. Irregular buildup of cranial pressure caused by the accumulation of caloric flow over a long period of time is known as global distortion. We're looking around. I have not found something that I should get from here. Oh, I'm sorry, chat. Here it is. We found the lens. Are we sure we want this guy in our party? So, Keel is kind of interesting from a spellcaster mechanic. So he does not have a familiar the way Merity does when she casts spells. However, you have like a little D-pad mini game that you could play to speed up spell casting. So I should probably show that off. Oh my god. Okay, chat. Here's the moment of truth. If he does not pronounce this the way that I remember, I'm going to be so immensely disappointed. Also, chat, I'd like to say from a knowledge standpoint or like a UI standpoint, I really like that it shows me what elements the different spells are, because sometimes they aren't super clear. Like, I mean, like Fireball kind of makes sense, but for example, something like Triple Blossom, I'm not sure if it has like an element associated with it. Or like I have Lightning Blade, for example, and if I have it selected with the character, I can see whether or not it has like the lightning element. We can apparently get Super Lightning Blade. So we can start seeing if we have dual element spells, for example. So I think that's it. Take a look at the map. Would Kaiba be a good name for Keel when something snuck up for him? I don't know, is he worthy of the Kaiba name? I think chat is gonna have to decide upon that. So for now, let's save. And let's see what they have to say with the hint system.
We'll need to travel through Nosto's cave to get to Moral.
Oh, so we have to go through this every time we want to leave. Interesting.
Let's do it! Fireball!
Yes!
Here.
Fireball!
Listen to that sound effect, chat.
Here. There.
Fireball! Lightning Blade!
There's something about the way he says it. It gets me every time.
Sonic Blade!
So you can see there's like little D-pad notations at the bottom of the screen.
Lightning Blade!
If you hit them, it'll speed up the cast time.
No problem.
I know. He just gets so enthusiastic about it. It makes me smile every time. Fireball! Every time, chat. I just wanted to show it off for that. We'll go back to formation, I suppose. I guess I could play as her for a bit more. Let's go ahead and obviously make Fireball an on-demand thing, because I want to hear that be spammed all day long. I guess that's okay. I guess I could do something like this. Oh, I have Sonic Fist now. Nice. Let's try something like this. At least he has a staff, the only weapon aside from the Tai Chi. Nice. We can avoid the encounters here. Oh, no, they snuck up on us. Never mind, I'm a liar.
Lightning Blade!
Here. There.
Oh, so Sonic Fist is like a rapid punch.
Sonic Fist.
Wow, that hits for a lot.
Okay! Fireball!
Wow. New skills, leveled ups. Nicely done.
Let's do it. Sonic Fist.
Tuck, tuck.
Yeah, so she doesn't get super close with Sonic Fist, but it does a lot of
Sonic
damage.
Blade.
Look at that, 6-hit combo just by herself.
Lightning Blade!
Doing some aerial
It
cancels.
looks like we won.
Right, it is so funny that you mentioned Star Ocean Second Story, because I wasn't sure if anybody had actually played that before.
Wait.
And I play that exactly for the same reason, where the voices are so cheesy. I might play that on stream at some point. So definitely Legend of Dragoon and the absolute cheese that are the voices in Star Ocean Second Story. There's something else. Your Poison Pill is a good one. I agree with that fully, Try.
What? Out of breath? As weak as ever.
Give me a break. I've had insufficient sleep lately.
Why don't we camp here? We still have a long ways to go.
I think you tuned in do.
Don't touch me!
Keel, you don't need to speak like that.
You can't be too careful around people you don't know. But she could be useful. At the very least, I hope to build a solid bridge of communication.
Useful?
Once I gather enough evidence about the dangers of the dark matter, I can return to Minch University.
Oh, are they releasing another Star Ocean? I wasn't aware. I feel like Tri-Ace kind of fell off the face of the earth with releases, unfortunately. Maybe I'll check it out.
Better yet, I might even be invited to join the Royal Observatory of Astronomy.
So the only reason why you're so cooperative is for your own benefit. You become quite the opportunist.
You're wrong. I'm simply searching for the truth, and for that, I need the best environment possible.
That's a little strong of a name, Reen. I don't think I'll put that as his name.
Usu tiosu? Wadi ayaitun gruwaigun?
Don't touch me.
Wow.
Is that a Cramo cage? You have one too?
Just shoves her full screen chat.
Don't be stupid. I'm not like those rogue Kramel students. Unlike them, I've actually studied the light Kramels.
I know, it just smacks her. You definitely have some socialization issues.
Globular distortion and caloric flow fundamentals suggest a practical scientific application. For instance...
I got it. You're something else.
No problem?
It's funny that you said Jerko, because I actually thought of a compromise for the chat. We just go with jerk. I was literally thinking that when the chat wrote that. There we go. What a jerk. Graduate student versus student. Suppose we could change the titles. The titles don't do anything. They're just here mostly for cosmetics. Looks like our thrust skill has been leveling quite a bit. That's always good. We are the master roller, chat. We earned that absolutely pointless title. I really like playing Farah, but the problem is, like, I will burn all of her TP. So I need to... We'll play as the jerk for a little bit. Also, what is the starting formation? Can we fix this? It'd absolutely be something like this. This should be fun. Yeah, if I'm worried about back attacks, I'll do something more like this. I could always do something like this. Oh, I could put him really far forward. You know what? Do something like this. It should be fine. Just the optimal formation. Nothing anywhere near us. Checks out. Jerks the bow fit so well. Straight up call him Karen. Maybe. We already named somebody Karen in the last playthrough. We have to have unique names. We'll walk around them, avoid the combat. Ooh, reverse is a little more difficult, but we got through.
We'll need to travel through Nostos Cave to get to Morel.
So he doesn't have anything interesting to say. He still wants us to go to that location. Let's briefly go back to the town to see if anything else got opened up.
Ha! Huh. Lightning blade! Fireball!
He gets me every time, chat.
Right.
Every time. So technically what I should do, if I'm going to be playing as him for a bit... Yeah, I'm not actually, you know what? I didn't try to see if they fixed the glitch for him. Let me see. It's which button for it? L plus X? Okay. I'm gonna get into one combat. Did they fix the bug?
Do it. Ta! Lightning blade! Fireball!
Here!
I think they did. Unfortunate, chat.
Fireball!
Okay!
So, yeah, it looks like they took it out of the PSP version. At least I'm not able to do it on this version. I know. I wanted to just hear Fireball going, Fireball, 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 Fireball. That's what I'm used to hearing of the PS1 version. Unless it's something weird where I have to do it on this button or something. I probably want her to spam Sonic Fist if I'm gonna assign other commands to other characters. I'm gonna try one more time, chat. And then I think we'll... I guess it could go a little longer.
Fireball!
Here!
Lightning blade!
Triple blossom.
Here!
Fireball!
Yeah, I don't think it works. That's a shame. What a shame, chat. I mean, I could still speed up his spell casting, which is useful, but not as useful as having the ability to instant cast like 7 fireballs on the way down. Unless it's something weird where it's like semi-auto only, and they didn't fix it on semi-auto, but I don't remember it being super hard to pull off, I'll put it that way. But I'll double check for you, chat, I think, between streams, to see like what specific bugs still exist in the game. Is this the one I'm looking for? Oh, we're allowed to get in here now. Evil exists in the world, criminals are at the heart of mankind. Ha. The other lens we were looking for, chat, right there. Everybody's all mad at each other. They're trying to understand the importance between Kramels and everything else. I'm like, listen. Doesn't matter. I want to check one thing, chat, before we go too much further. Okay. So I just very quickly have something else on the side just to double check for the recipes. Okay. So I don't think we missed anything according to this, so we're good. Otherwise, we're still gonna try to play without any boss hints, no plot hints. I want to experience it as fresh as possible, but I remember there are a lot of random missable things in this game. But surprisingly, we're doing okay with it. Yeah, most of these I really don't need anymore. I'm just gonna clean out our inventory a little bit. I'm gonna keep the food items, that's fine. It looks like I could give him one of these upgrades, but it's fine. Again, my approach to the RPG is very minimal combat, if possible. However, it seems like it is going to be spamming combat with us constantly, so the goal is to hopefully not get into too many more optional encounters.
Let's do it! Ha! Fireball!
Every time, chat.
Wind blade! Fireball! That was easy.
Fireball, chat, fireball. Okay, I had my fun with him for now. But if I want to play him again, this is not too bad. Go back to Farrah for a little bit. I'll try not to spam her skills as much, as tempting as it is. She is very good with skills. A little too good, I would say. She could easily just dominate any encounter.
Let's do it. Sonic Fist.
Case in point.
Wind blade! Lightning blade! Don't let your guard down.
Speaking of which... Oh, that messed up the formation here. Oh. That's kind of annoying. I guess when you switch at the bottom, it also switches who moves where. Yeah, I want him to be as far back as possible. There we go. So let's go ahead and try to get through the cave, and I think once we clear the cave, that'll be our official stopping point.
Let's do it.
Here are the spellcasters.
Fireball! Fireball!
So I get comboed. So spells in this game, as you can see, don't really pause the screen like in Tales of Destiny. They're actually much deadlier in this game. So it's possible to get chain juggled, for example, by multiple enemies casting chain lightning, which is pretty nasty.
Ha. Ha.
Wow, those eggs look good. I won't sell these even for 10,000 gold. Yes, even that. They came at the cost of my partner's life. What kind of eggs are those? Egg bears. Egg bear eggs fetch a high price as miracle cures. I got them from the mountain, where we were spotted by the egg bear parents. You weren't very lucky. But my merchant spirit won't die here. For my partner, I will earn, and earn some more. Are you interested in anything besides the egg bear eggs? Not really, to be honest with you. I mean, I could buy holy bottles to skip encounters, I guess. Get a couple spectacles so we could just get the bosses. Yeah, but they're egg bears. Seems the title movement here is affected by time. Okay. This is a load point. When you save inside a dungeon, your game will restart. I immediately got cutscened.
Hey,
It's not my
Keel.
intent.
Are you okay? Should we camp?
I love the hey jerk in the chat.
No, I'll be fine.
We've grown and learned to say complicated stuff. But when you get right down to it, we never really change, do we?
You could say that again. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
I'll fight you. It's all right now, Keel. I said it's all right.
What a flashback, chat.
Well, at least it looks like he doesn't cry anymore. Keel, are you all right?
Of course.
But his adolescent charm sure is gone.
So, there's gonna be a lot of potential items to get here. Oh no, not the green ropers.
Sonic Fist.
Lightning blade!
Ha! To! Ha! To! Ha!
Lightning blade!
To! Ha! Ha!
Demon hammer!
Ooh, Demon Hammer's new.
Close!
Like some items here. What is a protector? Is it a helmet? Or an armor? It's an armor. That covers the chest to enhance mobility? Sure. So we have a couple paths we could be taking.
Do it.
Brown pot? What?
Swarm!
Oh, he did learn Swarm. Nice.
Swarm! Fireball!
Fireball, chat.
Don't take me lightly.
Let's see. Ooh, there's a lot of potential items we could receive. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is the encounter rate here is a little too crazy. Let's take a holy bottle to reduce it. Got a buckler. Okay, that's probably an upgrade for Reed / Forger. Indeed it is. All iron shield, sure. Chain arms. Okay, we finally got an upgrade for Farah. I mean, I feel like her damage was pretty high, but now it's much higher. I know we could get the water to rise here eventually. They were hinting about that, but is there anything I missed in one of the other paths?
Let's do it.
Swarm!
To!
Swarm!
Ha! Ha!
Lightning blade! Lightning blade!
To!
Swarm!
Ha!
I'm kind of watching Merity. She doesn't seem to be casting too often. I might change her AI a little bit. I'm gonna go backwards slightly. Was there something over here I could have done? And interact with that.
Let's do it. Sonic Fist.
Oh, he knocked the slug out of my range. What a shame.
Ha!
Yeah, we're trying to level up our fist skills a little bit. I'll do some simple strikes.
Lightning blade!
Also, I do like that you can see the little character portraits along the bottom, so you can see what's happening to them, like if they're being struck or if they're casting. I think that's a good touch between this and Tales to Destiny. Okay, it was just an orange gel up there. Wow, the holy bottle does not last long at all. I'm glad they change how that works in the future games. I mean, I think you could still use it to reset your step counter to ignore combat, but it's still, like, obnoxious, like, how quickly that fades. What was that, like, not even 2 minutes? I don't think there's anything I could do there, because I can't go along the southern path yet. System reminds you of Star Ocean 2, you love the Actum system. Okay, they're similar in some ways. I will say, though, that this game series in general I do like a bit more, just because Star Ocean unfortunately never did multiplayer. Like, I think some of the things, like, for example, the second story, excuse me, combat is very interesting, but the fact that it's only single player kind of hurt it for me. Whereas this game, you can play all 4 characters, for example, multiplayer. Uh-oh, there's the egg bear. I mean, that explains why they were thinking of the monster earlier. Oh, it's just us fighting him. Take a look. Oh, yeah, do mine?
Blade. Fireball. Lightning blade. Aqua edge. Fireball. You can't beat me.
I'm not sure why only 2 of us were in that fight, and it made me not play the character I was a moment ago, so that was kind of scary. An easy fight. And why do you look so tired? Why don't we camp here, where the monster just came out and tried to murder us? Genius level plan, chat. Just leave it there dead. That's so messed up.
What are you doing?
Huh? I'm making jerky. If you dry egg bear meat, it makes good emergency rations.
I'm afraid I can't agree. Over time, egg bear meat undergoes a chemical transformation and loses much of its nutrients.
What are you talking about, Keel? You've never even eaten it.
I don't need to eat it to know. It's explained in detail in Volume 3, Chapter 21 of the Leonoa Encyclopedia.
Huh. I don't care what it says. I eat it all the time, and I know I'm right.
Boys, calm down. Doesn't matter either way.
Keel, don't even think I'm sharing this with you.
I love how we're so antagonistic to Keel that even though we renamed him, it just works every time, chat.
Fine, I could care less.
See, there we go.
Boys will be boys.
So, we could camp again. We should be at full health, I think. Indeed we are. Oh, and it gave us full TP as well? That's crazy. I guess we'll save, in general. I forget if the original PlayStation version lets you save anywhere. I remember these crystals were here, but I forget if they were actual save points in the PlayStation 1 version or not. Found a battle axe. Guess that should be better than what he has now. And then I can tell him from a strategy standpoint to focus more on slash and less on thrust. Oh, he said to do not attack? Yeah, I want him to... Oh, I guess you could tell him to stay away. Battle TP. Use TP regularly for attack. Cover TP. Okay, I mean, these aren't bad settings. I guess I'll just leave them as is. It's high tide now? So are we not going to talk about the blood trail? We can just leave without investigating the blood trail? That's kind of messed up.
Demon hammer.
We're like, yeah, that's where the merchant died, whatever.
Lightning blade. Demon hammer. Demon hammer.
Demon hammer, chat. Well, I guess we'll go look at the massacre zone. Parents must have gotten them after they stole the eggs. Looks like an egg bear family. Orange gel acquired. nothing in the back here, surprisingly.
Let's do it.
Swarm!
Blade.
Demon
They're like,
hammer.
blood on the wall just means that that's not the exit. Let's go this way.
How was that?
Like, they just take it as a matter of fact. They're just not bothered by it at all. But it's interesting they followed up, I guess, on the plot line. And now that it's high tide, can I access the treasure chest from earlier? Or do I need to come from the other side with high tide?
Let's do it.
Fireball!
So, I'm sorry, every time he says fireball, it gets me. See, that's the real reason we play the game. Okay, if I camp here, does that only restore HP when it's in a dungeon, or is it also TP? Let's find out. It is only HP, so cutscene camps heal TP. The others do not. Found a circlet, found a life bottle. This circlet's probably an upgrade for Farah, if I had to guess. Oh, it's not. She doesn't get to wear it? Interesting. Oh, it's a headpiece for Jerk. Oh well. Silver circlet with embroidered pattern? Sure.
Let's do it.
Fireball!
Every time he does the chat, it gets me. Alright, so now I'm not able to go across here, but how do I reach this area?
Let's do it. Sonic Fist.
I'm still not seeing a clean way to get to that treasure.
Wind blade!
Unless the water gets even higher at some point.
Demon hammer!
Which I guess could be possible. Also, we're getting a decent number of orange gels, which is good, because I'll need those later. That saves me a trip to the shop.
Let's do it.
Wow, the encounter rate here is
Sonic blade.
very crazy. Unfortunate.
Sonic Fist.
Lightning blade!
All right.
Yeah, we have a ton of healing items at this point. I'm feeling pretty good. It's now high tide. Okay. So I just had to wait a little longer, apparently.
Let's do it.
Sonic blade! Wind blade!
There we go. Oh, it's just for another weapon. Alright, what I'm gonna do, chat, is I'm going to make it so that if I just want to flee from encounters, I want to have a formation that makes sense. I'm gonna do something like this. And in case we're back attack, this isn't like the worst formation ever. But I think I'll stick to this formation so I could flee combat much quicker. And then when I think I'm at a boss fight, I'll just switch it. Oh, I kind of want to fight the zombies, to be honest.
Fireball!
Fireball, chat.
Sonic Fist.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, we have a ton of healing. I'm feeling pretty good. Okay, so we are set to Formation 2. It didn't look like we spawned in Formation 2. I think that's what threw me off.
Let's do it.
Sonic blade!
Yeah, see, we're so close together. I guess you can't cheese it like in Tales of Destiny. Like, in Tales of Destiny, you can make them go, like, really far away from each other. Oh, can we talk to this person again? No. They just sell things. Would Knuckles work for Farah? Are you talking about from Sonic? I don't know, maybe.
Let's do it.
Listen, chat.
Demon hammer!
Listen, we don't need to level in an RPG. This is fine. Listen, it gave us like 12 apple gels. We'll be fine. That's all we really needed.
Let's do it.
Fireball!
Chat, every time. I can't help it. There's just... I don't know why he pronounces it like that, but it gets me. Sure, we'll camp and heal.
Let's do it.
Nope, we're not gonna do it. Sorry, Farah. I'm out of here. Not worth our time. We'll battle things when things are worth more XP. Okay, now what are they gonna say to us?
Moral is a village built atop a tree.
Thank you, Keel. / jerk.
Let's do it.
Oh, thugs and sorcerers?
Sonic blade.
Ooh, this could be bad.
Demon hammer!
Sonic Fist.
Fireball! Sonic Blade!
Yeah, she's so good at deleting enemies, chat. I just completely annihilated the sorceress. Hey, more strawberries. That could help for recipes later. The skits are disappointing. As I said before when we started the stream, the Japanese skits are not translated. So, unless you play the original Japanese version, you will not get what would be considered the normal skits in the game.
Let's do it.
Lightning Blade! Aqua Edge! Demon Hammer!
So, unfortunately, there is no version that keeps those, like, character building skits, I would say. But honestly, a lot of the time, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm okay with it. I feel like a lot of the times it kind of drags the pace. I feel very mixed about the Modern Tales implementation of it.
Let's do it.
Where, like, sometimes I'm just like, I kind of just want to do plot, and I have to keep stopping for skits every 3 seconds.
Wind Blade! Demon Hammer! Wind Blade!
There we go, flying dropkick.
It?
We have some kind of giant tree. That's the village that we have to get to. I suppose we'll take a look at this, and this will be our stopping point. You know what the worst part is, chat? I missed an item. Do I go back for it, though? Fine, I'll go back for it. Just this one time, chat, we'll go back for it. It fortunately is not that deep into the cave, but I did miss something. Also,
Demon Hammer!
interesting enemy design.
Sonic Fist.
Demon Hammer!
Maybe it is Yggdrasil. I mean, it is a Tails game. I mean, like, 99% of the time, it'll be Yggdrasil. Every game is East, every game is Tails. There's always a giant tree. Something spirited some mana. Just every game. That was really, really popular on the PS1. That was like literally 90% of the JRPG plots. It had to deal with the Yggdrasil, or the worlds, or the life streams of the Earth.
Sonic Fist.
Wind Blade! Sonic Blade! Sonic Blade!
Speaking of which, we'll probably pick up East again at some point.
How was that?
Alright, chat. So, I didn't investigate the pile of wood correctly. There was actually a lens there. Of course. Oh, Tales of Eternia, your hidden items are kind of annoying sometimes.
Sonic Blade!
Yeah, I feel like when they did the PSP version, they should have fixed like the interactive, I would say, zone of each individual lens. Yeah, because it's really dumb, because if you're like walking towards it and hitting confirm, it actually won't pick it up like a good 60% of the time. Like, unless you're at the right angle with it, even if you're looking at where it is, it doesn't count. So I was like, depending on how far in it was, I'll go back for it.
Demon Hammer! Aqua Edge!
Hello, old man. We're gonna mug you.
Aqua Edge!
Uh-oh. We gotta protect our
Sonic
frontliner.
Blade!
Don't take me lightly.
How many apple gels are we up to? Wait, what? Why don't I see them? I see the orange gel, I see the strawberries, bread. Oh, it's not technically a new item. Oh, we already capped on apple gels. In that case, I'll just heal with these. This is fine. We already capped, apparently. So that's pretty typical of some of the later Tales games. You just end up with like 20 million gels.
Let's do it.
That checks out, chat.
Demon Hammer!
Uh-oh.
Sonic.
Oh, it's just acid rain. I was worried he was actually gonna attack with like lightning blade or something. That would have been kind of annoying.
Aqua Edge!
Palm strike.
Sonic Blade.
Oh, I want to dive kick him, but
Okay!
he wasn't in the right position. Yeah, so this game is very generous with apple gels. I guess I don't even need to heal with Fair at all. I can just use my TP when attacking. As it feels like we've gained literally almost all of those just from encounters. What the heck is that? I'm sorry, what? The Windworm?
Wind Blade.
Look at its little animation, chat. Look at it wiggle.
Fireball.
Okay,
Sonic Blade.
you can't hit me with the fireball while I'm marveling at the worms. You can't do that to me, game.
Sonic Fist!
Yes.
It is so wiggly. I agree, chat. Okay, now we're allowed to go a little further. Oops, sorry. I was trying to run, then I realized I hit the wrong button, so I was talking to them again. Rare to see visitors here. Shop sells items. We'll check it out. Like some advice on fighting techniques? Sure. Sacred skills are learned by combining special skills. Ah, so this game does implement the different art levels. Require sacred skills, you must raise your slash and thrust levels. Must also use special skills that become the basis for the sacred skills over and over. Okay, so it has the advanced techniques that we saw in the Fantasia remake. Got it. Chad, I'm just gonna go ahead and cap our holy bottles. Just the encounter ran a little too high. We might need those. We don't need anything else from the shop though. That's fine. This is the best inn in the village. Well, let's see if I believe that. 30 gold. Highway robbery. Lovely graphics. It's looking pretty solid, I would say. I think there are some issues with the upscaling, I think, on the PSP version, where it looks a little kind of blah, but I think the character sprites came out pretty well. We're looking to see if we can take anything from these rooms. There's no safer place to live. Hangs high above, and there's only a swamp below. Yeah, why do I have a feeling something terrible is gonna happen to this place? You're a sucker for greenish scenery. I was gonna say, I was talking about this in the previous stream, but have you ever seen or played Saga Frontier 2? That game is really beautiful, if you haven't seen it before. Don't go near the Forest of Temptation? What? Okay, we're definitely gonna go enter the Forest of Temptation. We can't not, chat. They can't tell us what to— I didn't mean to re-talk to them. I was trying to cancel. Too many buttons. Lovely game, need to buy the remake for PS4. Oh, the remake of the first one. I was gonna say, I don't think they remade the second one yet, unfortunately. We'll probably play Saga Frontier Remastered at some point. But the second game in particular, ooh. What a good-looking game. Huh? Aren't you? All right, Simone. Grandpa will buy you anything you want. Simone, wasn't your name Katrine? I guess Simone is the name of this man's grandchild. I asked for directions to Inferior City. He thought I was her. And you've been stuck here ever since? He seemed so happy, I couldn't disappoint him. Yeah, we'll probably play the a couple of games in the Frontiers. Although I think before I go into Saga Frontier we'll probably play the Legends games. We'll play the versions on the Switch. Since those are technically Saga Frontier games. Mara says, Simone suddenly has some urgent business in Inferior City. Is it already she goes? Is that so? Well, I guess Simone's all grown up now and has more important things to do. Take care of yourself, Simone. I will. Thank you so much for your help. Thought I might end up with Simone forever. Must be on my way now. I guess we're progressing the side quest here. Wonder if she knows the way from here to Inferior City. Well, I guess we'll find out. It's a big pumpkin. And that's a slightly smaller pumpkin, therefore it's suspicious. I am the mysterious Wonder Chef. I'll show you how to make garden salad that's healthy and low in calories. You learn how to make garden salad. Salad has 3 ingredients: lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers. Ew, you monster, you don't put dressing on your salad. Receive garden salad ingredients. Have a nice day. A dry salad, oof. Brutal. Yeah, the freshest food around. Looks like it. Not interested though. I was gonna say, what a boring salad. Like, come on. You could at least include like junky items in there, like croutons. I'll accept croutons. Like, just give me something. Cucumbers and tomato. What a guy, chat. What a guy. I don't think there's anything. I'm rubbing against the wall. I'm not lost, chat. I'm just repeatedly mashing X to see if there's any items there, just so you're clear. People, this village all live off the bounties of the forest. Oh, sure would be a shame if something happened to the village. What's this? Backwoods Immortals just ahead. Danger, turn back. We'll come there in a moment. Talk to this person. A man named Mazet lives up there. Sure, let's talk to Mazet. Oops. Oh, it did the cardinal sin of gaming. Okay, chat. Things that bother me in game design. I'm holding up to transition to a new screen, but holding up in this screen makes you go back to the previous one. Wave your finger, chat. Cardinal sin. This is Professor Moset's house. Sure. Let's see, what does Jurek have to say? This is certain to be it. The domicile of Professor Moset. How long has it been since you've seen this professor of yours? About 3 years. Why does he have to live way out here like this? I'm not certain, but I know the professor. I bet he'll have some sort of good reason. Okay, no items in the barrels. I was getting looped forever, chat. Professor Moset. You could just say house, jerk. See, if it isn't jerk. See, everybody knows, chat. How have you been? I've come with a favor to ask of you. I'm down now. You haven't changed at all, jerk. Great line. Whenever you discovered something new, you never could contain your excitement. Knows you pretty well. Leave it to the professor. I apologize for my rudeness. Have you been well? Oh, that's quite all right. So tell me, what brings you here? Thank you. The reason is... Verity with the clearly identifiable speech. I see, so she says she's a Celestian. Of course, I don't believe everything she says. But I would like your advice on how we may be able to communicate with her. Uh-oh, is he gonna have a translator? This is gonna make it like you all have one of these? Oh no, Chad. Well, that solved the problems pretty easily. They're pretty. It's called an Or's earring. Oh, the Or's earring now comes up. Okay. So we know that this can channel the Praemals. That's what they said before in one of the books that we read. But apparently, we're now receiving them for the first time. Have you heard of it? All high-level Cramal mages wear it. They say that putting it on your ears allows you to communicate with Cramals. Communicate with Cramals? Okay, but what does the Or's earring have to do with Merity? I get it. Cramals speak the Melnix language too. Correct. The concept may be applicable to this instance as well. But we aren't Cramal mages. Try putting them on, then listen carefully to what Merity says. It sounds easy. Let's try it. Received Or's earring. Okay, I'm ready. Merity, can you understand me? Answer me if you do. Uh-oh. Forger, jerk. Did you understand what she said? Not a thing. It's not working at all. Merity, say something again. Tell me if you understand me. Looks like it doesn't work. Okay. Wasn't a super plot convenience. It may take some time. The Oars earring will not work unless you're on the same psychic wave. Of course. So that's how technology works, chat. We're just not in the right psychic wave. So maybe some people in the chat can already read it. They're on the right wave. We have to get on their level. Doesn't sound easy. What's the matter? Calm down. Did you eat something bad? She's shouting about something. Still speaking a lot, but we don't understand, and away she goes. Hey, what do? We can't let her go off by herself. She's used the bathroom after the salad. Maybe try. She's gonna tell that grocer what for giving her a terrible salad. I don't understand. What's the matter with her? Jerk. I love it. Listen, she's human just like you. Remember, okay? Yes, I understand. Where could Verity have gone? Well, she's left our party. I think we'll leave a little bit of a cliffhanger here. Obviously, she's going to the backwoods, let's be honest, Chad. It literally told us not to go there, so clearly we have to go there. Are we allowed to leave the town, though, is my question? For future reference. Gorger, are you gonna forget about Merity? I mean, I only need so many party members, chat. To be honest, I could probably win with just Farah and Gorger. No way, I just took a wrong turn. Okay. So I'm pretty sure it wants us to go to the backwoods. But, unfortunately, chat, I need to take a food break. But I think that'll be all for today. We'll leave ourselves right here. We're able to. Perfect. So I'm pretty sure you can't save like this in the PS1 version. Just like randomly in the middle of the town like that. That's a good quality of life. Someone else's problem now, let's ditch Jerk. Exactly, chat. We're gonna slowly abandon our party members. We don't need them anymore. So let's have a little chat before we end the stream. So I think Try brought up some interesting games that I was thinking about streaming at some point. So we have Legend of Dragoon, we'll probably do as a one-off. Possibly on the weekdays after this, we'll see. Potentially Star Ocean Second Story. I never played the first one in the series, so I'm a little hesitant to pick it up, but maybe I'll give it a try. I know they did a remake of it for the PSP, I believe. So now that this connection is working, I might give the remake a try to see how I feel about it. And then maybe we'll try the second story. I think some of them are loosely connected plot-wise. Like, it all takes place in the same universe, to my understanding, except for Till the End of Time, ? And that game was terrible and made me stop playing the Star Ocean series. But I don't mind playing some of the older ones. Maybe they're kind of fun. I remember having a decent amount of fun with Star Ocean Second Story in general. You might remember some of the mechanics for Valkyrie Profile 1, where we leveled up like character traits and we had a whole bunch of skills which influenced our stats. That very much is reused / originates potentially from Star Ocean Second Story. I forget the release order between those two games, but they share a lot of mechanics from that standpoint for leveling a character, where we have like the CP to gain more skills. So I think that could be fun to give it a shot. In terms of more weekend games, right now we're playing Tales of Eternia, and I think we'll continue to do so. I think, so far, I think for the most part it holds up. I mean, obviously, Chad has some mixed feelings on the party that we have so far, but obviously, we're still pretty early in the Tales games, so we haven't seen our full party, quote-unquote. But I think some of the characters are interesting, so I think we'll continue with that. Now, I will say the downside is that I'm still probably leaning towards not doing Symphonia. I thought about doing, like, a bot or something to let the chat kind of take control of one of the characters. Then I'm like, I still have to sit through the plot of Symphonia. I don't think I could do it, chat. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I don't think I could sit through Symphonia's plot again. Like, no thanks. The more modern Tales games, like Xillia or Graces, sure, I'll go back to those, but I'm not feeling Symphonia today, chat. Maybe I'll feel different next year. How bad is Symphonia? I think the problem with it is that it's not necessarily like a bad game per se. I just feel like we played Fantasia and it's literally the same plot. Like almost literally the same plot. But instead of like the slightly older teenagers as the protagonists in Fantasia, it's more like, what if we appeal to an even younger audience and oops, one of the characters is a klutz. I hope you really like physical comedy. And it does not appeal to me. I find it really grating to kind of get through them. It's clunky and dated. It is very clunky. I think there's some combat stuff that is very interesting from it, but your character just feels very slow and stiff in combat. Yeah, I see, I'm seeing an Oops Symphonia. Like, people have played it, and it's either with nostalgia goggles or they haven't played the more recent ones. Because once you play anything after that, it is so hard to go back to Symphonia. And it's not like a fault of the game, per se, but I will say, even growing up, I still felt like that game was a couple steps back from this game in terms of combat. I have a lot more fun with this game's combat than I do with Symphonia, for sure. The only thing you pay attention to is Kratos' Japanese voice. I'd be honest with you, never played it in Japanese. I only played it in English on the GameCube. I have not played, like, the Steam version, etc. I have the original copy. But I did not get very... Well, I guess I did get far in the game, because I ended up in the second area. I'll put it that way, as vague as possible. I guess I'll say I used a different world map, maybe. Might be another way to phrase it. So, I got about that far, but it really did not draw me in. I think the issue with it is definitely the cast of characters was a big turnoff for me in the game. Kind of like how I had like a very negative reaction to some of the Fantasia characters. It's like that, but times 5. Because I pretty much like none of the cast in Symphonia. Only to be topped by Abyss. I also did not like Abyss. And that is another game I will not play. And to be fair, also, Abyss is almost unstreamable unless you have the original console, because there's so many bugs related to that game that more often than not, you're just going to softlock when you go into the starting castle due to a cutscene bug. So either way, I don't really want to pick up that game either. You could take your reasons or choice for that out of that particular conversation. But I will say, chat, as a reminder, as we come into next week, starting with the 1st of December, it will be the 2-year stream anniversary. So we're probably going to be playing some Castlevania Chaos on Wednesday. But if chat has any other suggestions on what to do afterwards, or if we just end up doing multiple runs, I suppose that also could work, please let me know, and I can probably set up for it. So I'll have the latest version of Chaos ready. Hopefully people will have fun with that. But I think for now, chat, that's all I really want to discuss in terms of the post-stream conversation. So for now, we'll be continuing tomorrow with Where Did Merity Go? And hopefully we get some more characters that the chat ends up liking, but we'll see. To be seen. But for now, I'd like to thank you all for joining and hope you have a good day or a good night, depending on the time zone.